Hey,
No.
should, hi. Well, I was just gonna ask if we should knock TJ's thing off, you know, the thing that was on consent with conditions, but, so we already have an applicant sitting here, so let's do that.
Do you want to do the other one first?
That's okay. Okay, so you are here for retaining walls.
Yes. My name's Lauren Cronin. I am from Gregory Lombardi Design with the landscape architect. On behalf of Brian and Elise Strahan. So the items on the plan that are bubbled in red are the retaining walls that we are proposing. We were here in August, I believe, to get the rest of the landscape approved. And at that time, it was determined that none of this is actually visible from the public way. And so I'm hoping that will be the same for these items, but we should run them by you. Basically, we got some updated topography information from the surveyor, which is the reason we need these walls. They are the two that are along the southeast side of the property, are about 30 inches high, and they are going to be field stone because they're more visible in the client's, day-to-day activities on site. And the one, yeah, those two. And then that one down there is going to be concrete. It's kind of below everything and hidden by all the existing vegetation. And we'll put vines on it so it won't be.
That's the north wall?
And it's the north wall, which is 4.5 feet high at the corner, and then it tapers down to grade in either direction.
Oh, I'm sorry, my orientation is incorrect.
Oh, am I saying the wrong?
The back of the property is what direction?
West.
Northwest.
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 Oh, wait, so is north is this way?
North is that
North
way,
towards the
yeah.
harbor.
So it's northwest.
It's a dock.
The bottom line is Abby and I went out there and you can't see anything.
Oh, okay, all right, well, thanks for looking. I'm satisfied with that. Anyone else? That is on the side. The concrete is the side retaining
Is
wall.
the lower one.
Isn't that only like 6 inches high or something?
This? That one is,
Well, that one, that's just a photograph of it.
yeah, so it'll be 4.5 feet high at the highest point and then tapering down to about 6 inches. Correct.
Okay.
at
But
the
with
end.
vines.
You're talking, that's this
Yeah,
one.
That's correct, yep, that one.
Yes,
Got it, okay,
and with vegetation in front.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
and the other one's in that, remember we saw between the neighbor, there's all that.
Yeah, we like that. Just-
Yeah, it's
if-
like
If
cut.
we could keep the vegetation on, what is it, Cathcart?
Yeah,
Cat cart,
Yeah. You've done such a good job keeping that rural.
Yeah, they want to keep all the existing vegetation, so it's as natural as possible.
Thanks. Jesse, you're folding up.
Yeah, I think.
I'm on this one. I'm
sorry.
absolutely fine with it. I don't think it's going to be visible, but I would add if, when we do applications on these, if something's going to be visible, usually like to see like an example photograph of the finish,
Okay.
like what field stone you're using.
Oh, it's actually in
it's on
there.
the second page.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
second
see that.
page.
My apologies.
Yeah, there was one
I didn't know there
field
was a second
stone
page.
photo and one concrete photo.
Yep.
John?
Well, the question I got, if somebody opens this up,
Yes.
right, it doesn't say which is concrete, which is fieldstone.
Okay, so the concrete one is by your
One
right hand.
and two.
Okay, where's the 1 and 2?
So one is here,
Okay, I got
here.
it.
So that's a
And then
field
two
stone wall and that
is
other
there.
one is concrete.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds like we have a go on this one.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Thank you. All those in
Lack
favor?
visibility?
Yeah.
All those in favor? Do we
Aye.
all do- Aye. Okay, you're good.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mr. Thoreau, would you mind if we just pulled TJ up here because he just had he had something he wanted to say on an item that was on consent with conditions.
I could wait until my other project is up.
Oh, you got another project
Yeah.
coming? Okay, let's do that.
I'm on number
We'll
19.
hear them both together then. Okay, that
Oh,
makes good
oh,
sense. Thank you.
I'm failing already.
Okay, so Steve, come on up. I missed that.
Roman numerals.
Need a new system.
Number 19, maybe we just put it.
Tired, you? Yeah.
Tired. Tired.
Sick and tired.
Okay. While you guys are opening up the drawings, we have this from Wisconsin Advisory says, not in favor of cable railings, too heavy on second floor decks, too much. Okay, Steve, so
Yeah.
you want to walk us through?
Sure. I think Val has some photos that I had submitted, and Johnny's got some photos I submitted. This has very limited visibility from the street, and the only place that it does abut up to that you'll see it from is the Sankaty Golf Club. But that's a private golf club, not a public golf club. We've tucked the deck addition around the side of the house so that it's behind the additive mass, so you won't see it from the road. Yeah, way in the back at the end of a dead-end lane meeting house.
I totally know.
Okay, so the owner, thought that the cable wire rail would be less visible than seeing all those spindles in the way. And I had submitted a photograph of the cable wire rail that we had used before in Monomoy for consideration.
So, Steve, is your application basically to take the existing?
Yes, it's to modify.
Wood baluster rail and switch it out for the cable?
Yeah,
Is that the
that's-
sum total of this application?
That's the sum total. There's an existing deck there now, which is on the left-hand side off of the kitchen. And that's just being re-roofed, and we're adding an addition to that to match. She does want to do new railings on the deck, so they'd be all consistent.
But
What
like,
about on the farm?
Yeah, you can't see that, the little tiny deck on the first floor.
she's talking
Second floor.
about the second floor.
Yeah, we can make it match if you want to. You're not gonna see it, but that's okay. Whatever you prefer. There just would be a lot of spindles on the deck.
But what if we don't let you do that? That won't be so many.
Okay. So it's not just about changing out the existing rails on the deck. See, I see a deck there.
Yeah, we're adding to that deck right on the side of it.
And do we know how much that's projecting out beyond?
We don't have any dimensions.
It projects to the end of the house. It doesn't go beyond the house. I believe that's 11 feet, Val.
Well, it goes to where it's canted right now.
Where are
Or
you,
a little
Val?
bit
Sorry.
farther. The deck now is sort of an oddball combination of
No,
on
that's old.
the roof. I know that, but you're going farther than that.
Oh, I see, existing north.
Oh, slightly, yes. You are correct.
Yeah.
That is correct, yes. Okay? Yeah.
Which way is north?
Which way is north?
Towards the golf course.
So this,
The golf course is west. That's west. Yeah. Which is on the elevation.
this stuff is happening in this corner.
That's correct.
Which was heading north.
So we're coming out and filling in this corner here. That's right, yeah.
You don't have a picture of it looking back from the sanctuary, do you?
Up on the page.
To see
From the
the
golf
house
course?
itself?
No, you're gonna see it from the golf course. There's no doubt about it. That's the west elevation.
That's what you see, right?
From the, yeah, if you look at these,
This is the back of the house. That's
And
what
you're
you see.
adding some doors.
yes, changing 2 doors, Val. But the only place it's gonna be visible from is Sankaty, which is the private golf club.
And that's west,
That is west.
west.
That is correct.
Sankaty is west of
Yep.
this.
Okay.
What expense is it? What is this?
They didn't like the cable rail.
That was
Not in favor of cable railings, top heavy on second floor decks, too much. So I guess that works about the amount of decking.
Now, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sconset Advisory, they view everything in Sconset, yes, whether it's in the ROH or not. But this is not in the ROH.
Yeah, I think they made.
Yeah, they do everything.
Up-
Well, that was a recent thing that we voted on, that they expanded it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's correct.
thanks.
Thanks.
Wasn't sure.
All right, comments?
May I?
Go ahead, please.
I'm not crazy about the mixed media of rails, but I'm okay with it due to the lack of visibility.
Thank you. Al, you ready?
Yeah, I do think it's a lot, but I think the visibility is minimal.
Yeah, it's this corner right here.
And it's natural to weather, right?
Yes.
So I think the cable rail is gonna be less
I agree.
noticeable.
Yeah, I agree with Jesse that I think just, well, you know, it should all be, if you're gonna do cable, it should be consistent.
Sure.
And not have to spend, you
Oh,
know.
so
I can do that.
part that's
I can do that.
currently shown, rendered as ballast earth would change also.
Well, that's just my.
It's just a little section.
I think Jesse shared that.
On the
And John, you're doing your calc,
north
right?
elevation.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, this one. See that? Jesse suggesting that that go to cable too, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't sound like Steve's objected to that. Yes, John?
how much of this decking is existing? And has this been added on to?
Right here, John.
This way, John. One more down.
Nope.
No, this one here. This here is existing, John. Okay?
I'm sorry?
This here, you see this
Right
dash line?
here.
Yeah.
This is existing. This is being added to it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah,
That's existing.
Yes.
okay. That's my question.
Yep.
I agree that with the recommendation from the committee. I agree with that. We tried doing these in Wisconsin. And there was a lot of complaints on it with the wire fencing in the old historic district area out there, right on Murray Lane. And I think it's not compatible to Nantucket's fencing. We had a trouble across from the school up there, whether it was visible or not. Same thing, wire fencing. And it went through because most of the members said it couldn't be seen. I went up and looked and you couldn't see it. So I think that-
Which school? Which,
The high school, and it was
The high
Anna Drive for Chase Lane. And it was
I'm just saying
behind.
to say yes to this, and it's visible, others are gonna see it, and they won't, and why can't they have it? Well, just say to them, it's not typical for style fencing for Nantucket.
Railing.
It's not visible from the road. It is only visible from Sankaty Golf Course, which is a private course.
Private or not, I'm just saying that I personally feel where this is west and this is north, right?
that's correct.
So, if this isn't large enough, this here doesn't show the streets around it.
Well, that green,
Access
that
road.
green right there is all the golf course, John.
Right. Meeting House Road,
Comes down here, John.
whether it's visible from Meeting House Road, I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe we should view it.
Where's the photos, guys? That was here, the meeting house. Here. This is meeting house,
Right,
okay? So this house here is this house here. You don't see it there, okay? As you come down meeting house, you see this part right here? That's the part of the house that the deck is behind. So you can't see the deck from the road.
well, maybe we should hold it, everybody go out and view it. It's very controversial.
Well, it would be hard to view it because you'd have to go to.
I'm sorry?
It would be hard
You'd
to
have
view
to view it
because
from
you'd
Sankaty.
have to go to the
Sankaty Golf
Sankaty utility road.
Well, you can't go
They,
there.
they'd let Abby view, but they wouldn't let me, they'd chase me off the golf course.
Probably fine you.
Yes.
I just think it's very bad precedent.
Well, it is, I agree with you, John, but the problem is that we can't.
Yeah, I
we can't
agree,
see it.
John, with you too, if it were visible from a public way, but I don't consider
Doesn't
Sankaty.
say that, it's a travel way also. Travel way is a driveway. I didn't make that, town council did.
Well, okay.
Once in a while you get stuck with something like this, or something
No,
that's not
well, it's
appropriate.
difficult, it's not easy,
Okay.
but.
Well, I, like most of the board members, agree that I think Sankaty is a private club, therefore private, like, I can't just go walking around Sankaty without being chased off. So I'm okay with the lack of visibility of this from a public way. Would anyone care to give me a,
What's the word we travel?
what?
Public way going in there, travel way also. The law says also travel. It's a travel way to get to this property is up here. That's all
John,
it
there's
says.
a difference between a subdivision. You know, if you ride in the subdivision road, you're allowed as anybody, any of us can drive down a subdivision road and we're free to do that. If the town approved a subdivision. The drive into Sankaty is like driving into somebody's private road. They can send the guard out and tell you to get off the property. That's not a publicly traveled way. There's a difference.
Interpretation.
If somebody drove down my driveway, which is not very long, I could tell them to get away, get off my
If it happens
property.
in the future, what are you gonna tell somebody that wants one?
That, I'm gonna tell them if it's visible from a public way, it's no good. If it's
Oh,
not
travel
visible
way. You
This
from
is-
a,
this-
from
this is not
a publicly traveled.
Unfortunately, this isn't a traveled way either.
Why
It's
isn't
just because it's a utility road for the Sankaty maintenance people.
It's not a traveled way, it's a publicly traveled way.
It said both. You want book?
Okay.
You haven't got time for it.
Okay.
It's up to you.
All right, I think we should move
Do
along.
what you want,
Okay,
I guess.
thank you, John.
I guess we could say that due to lack of visibility.
Well, I think we have to,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's my
Can somebody give
motion.
me a motion?
It's my motion.
Oh, it is. Okay, so you're gonna approve as is due to lack of visibility, right, from the public way. All those in favor of Abby's motion?
Aye.
Okay. What?
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you didn't ask if anybody's opposed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
opposed.
gonna assume,
Yeah, to have it then.
okay,
Thank you.
noted. Thank you. So that was 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Vehemently. Okay, Howard Street window revisions. This is something you've seen before, right?
Yes, yes.
Prefer previous design, this is HSAB saying it this time. Prefer previous design at windows with them spread further apart, okay with moving wall back.
So what we did here is we moved the front wall of
Sorry.
the, okay.
TJ, you're on this, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, just for the record.
Okay, all we did here was move the front wall of the addition back a foot from the street. And we pushed 2 windows in closer
Hold
to
on
each
one sec, Steve, we're gonna,
Okay,
wait until we get to the,
Oh,
okay, so we moved that front wall back a foot, which didn't change the appearance of the structure of the addition that was already approved. We pushed 2 windows on the front elevation a little closer together, and we eliminated 1 window down on the side of the house below ground.
Okay, so
Okay.
in the future, can you bubble that stuff for
I
us?
did.
No, you didn't bubble this.
Here it is.
No, I'm about to bubble it right now.
Hang on a second.
Proposed, previous.
My apologies, I missed that one. Yeah, I did the red one over there. Sorry about that.
Apology accepted.
Okay,
Okay, just so that we're all on the same page on this one, so if you all look at the west elevation proposed, which is on the bottom of the sheet, and compare it to the previously approved west elevation, you will see that the two windows on the right-hand-most side and the previous are spread further apart, slightly closer together on the proposed.
Here, this
Just
one's not
for the
sampled either.
record.
Yeah, that's the one I missed.
No, it's under,
Thank you.
it's under, no, you gotta either put it behind a fence or under the grill, so you won't be able to see that.
Side yard, Abby. Side yard,
So
the side of the driveway.
you have Howard on two sides. There's Howard on one side, Howard on the
Yeah.
other. And what did,
Two windows are.
Right there.
these light wall windows or?
Yeah,
here?
right
And
there.
you can't see them from Howard here.
No, they're below ground.
Well, yeah, this is all underground. And are you gonna do a grate?
Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah, so there's gonna be one of those metal grates like this, so you have to like be standing on top of it to see the windows. Comments from the board.
I have no problem with this. I think it's appropriate.
You have a good problem with this?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Oh,
He's reducing the size of the window well. He's reducing the size of the addition, and some windows are moving closer together.
TJ,
I'm with Val, no concerns.
good.
I'm fine.
How about you, John?
That's what the other one, those three items?
So, let's see, yeah, he was moving one wall back a little bit from Howard by 1 foot. He was moving two of the windows closer together on, I believe, the west elevation.
Right here.
Is there some shops?
And then he's reducing the size of that to that.
Should have been on consent.
Well, I think because it's in the OHD, they always
I
give,
don't even down there. There's no line.
what is that for group?
Okay, sounds like we're all on the same page on this one. Can I have a motion?
Aye.
Motion to approve.
John's beat you to it. All those in favor?
Thanks, guys.
Aye.
Have a nice night.
Yeah, you too. Mirka? Yes, I did. Hello? Let's see, Hawthorne, pool.
You coming with
Is this a different pool than
So,
the community?
yeah. You explain, so it's
The wide open spaces.
Sure, when they're ready. Are you ready? This is it's a similar pool.
Yeah,
Okay, so the next three applications pertain to this, no, this, and then there's two more afterwards.
There's two. I put one on consent.
Okay, great.
Thank
So
you.
the next two applications pertain to this property, lot 65 at Hawthorne Park.
okay.
They have a buyer who is buying the smallest home type at Hawthorne Park, called the barn, and they want to add on this small cabana building and a private pool. And so this is the application for the pool, and the following application is the one for the small cabana, which sits next to the barn.
Yeah,
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 Burnt Swamp Lane.
yeah.
That's called, I
Yeah.
thought it was called Hawthorne.
Well, this is.
No, that's Hawthorne Lane, and the other side's Hummock Pond Road. Sorry,
This is Hummus.
yeah, Burnt Swamp runs past this end of the triangle. That's Hummock Pond Road, and the top
This is.
Hawthorne Lane.
Yeah, that's not Burnt Swamp. That's
Sorry, I
Hawthorne.
misunderstood your question. Burnt Swamp is down this way about a quarter mile.
Yeah,
Well, that's, okay.
anyway. We're all very familiar with this.
Yep.
So to the pool itself, it's just the practically 15 by 40 with the bluestone coping attached to the patios, which have been already initially approved. And the full, you already have it on file, the full screening and planting plan from the initial filing, but so all the side of between the access road or the cut-through road, it's all going to be planted, and as you can see, it's pretty heavy planting, at least in the area we already were able to install. So we are continuing the same kind of planting throughout the development. So in this corner lot, it will be fully planted along the property line, and so there will
be minimum visibility from the, which road is it? No,
Hawthorne Lane.
Hawthorne Lane, yeah.
I think there's no fence, right? There's an auto
Yeah,
cover.
there will be auto cover, yeah. That is kind of access road, just for the, we try to figure exact definition
It's a
for
utility
it.
access road for mail and for trash pickup only, I believe. And for accessible drop off to the clubhouse and pool. It's
So
not
there's gonna be more screening than there is now,
in the planting.
Yes,
because it's
Well,
wide open.
yeah, right now there is nothing, there is not even house, so it's all ready for the construction. But well,
Which is
as you know,
disappointing.
as you approach the development from the cross section, which is already planted, so that would be the same attitude and character of the landscape moving throughout the development. So it will be the same heavy evergreens mixed with the native shrubs, screening that corner of the development and entryway. So yes, it will be fully screened.
The pool looks like it's the same size as the community pool.
No, it's
The house
not.
itself.
No, the coping makes it look a little larger, but it's not.
Slightly smaller.
The 40 feet seems a little large.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I think it's going to be hidden, but I think the length of the pool seems excessive for the lot. It's my personal opinion.
I think that was the size requested by the
Yeah.
builder.
So there was no zoning restriction for these other houses to not have pools?
There was
Due to
not.
the fact that
No.
there was a community pool?
No.
I mean, I thought that was the big sale of why this development could happen in the first place, is that you had one big community pool and to supply a pool for all the houses.
Yeah. There was no formal commitment made to not building additional pools.
It's funny, so theoretically, we could have a pool at each one of these houses.
Right, which
Which-
are wide open.
Was, I mean,
Yeah. To date, this is the only.
Yeah, but I'm sure that you don't want to
Precedence.
promise that this will be the only one that goes in.
But what we can promise is that it will not be visible.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, you can't get signed off if it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
okay. So. Val, do you have anything more that you want to say?
I
about
have reservations about it not being seen.
Okay.
Given some promises that have been made all along that don't seem to be happening.
Okay,
From which side do you have the most concern, though?
Hummock Pond Road was supposed to be, I mean, we even painstakingly said share a driveway so there's less cuts, and there it is for God and everyone. And some of the designs were rather unusual, and we approved those based on that visibility as well.
I would argue to that, what they've re-landscaped looks nice. and
Yeah.
thick and
I'm not
full.
saying it doesn't look nice, but you can see it.
But we are not finished yet.
Yeah.
Either.
So you've only landscaped up here at the corner?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen that, but this is wide open.
And there are just partial plantings done right now as what they can install, they install before the winter, but it's far from be completed because the all street side is not even built yet.
And also, and I know it's really not our purview, but not to have a fence in this tight neighborhood for that is
dangerous.
dangerous.
If you, I think, we can definitely, if that would be the condition, we can definitely add the privet, I'm sorry, the fence.
Yeah, we could definitely go back to this buyer and see if they're willing to do a pool fence.
Sure. John? Comments?
Pass from it.
Oh, okay. Well, you want me to come back to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you're suggesting that you can come back with a revision to this that would give us some screening in the form of a fence of some kind?
We could do 4 feet fence, if just to be on a safe side, and then I am happy to provide full planting plan to kind of just support the lack of visibility or screening in general. Because the 4 feet, we know 4 feet fence, you still like to screen the 4 feet fence as well, so either
Oh, yeah.
or.
Yeah.
Even with the fence, you will still have objections, so I just will
At
screen
least
the
with a
fence
4-foot
and,
fence, we, have a greater degree of assurance that it won't be seen. Do we wanna see some revisions on this?
We might want a view, because, I mean, or I would definitely want a reduction in the length of the pool.
I mean, it's the same size as the house, practically.
Okay,
What
so-
what scale is this?
Length of the house, rather.
Well,
This
the
particular one?
pool is 15 by 40.
So it's 1 to 8.
I know, I'm just trying to see how much I would want to reduce it by.
May I just give you a scale?
Yes.
See what you have. It's 1 to 8. It should be.
What- yes.
This one here should be 40. Yeah. So this is 40. This refer to your length.
So if we were to view this, we would just view the 4 corners staked?
Yeah, we could take the corners of the house and the corners of the pool, and even.
Oh, the house is,
No, there's no house. There's right now. It's a staging. Yeah.
got it.
Oh, so it's
It's
hard
all
to see.
open,
then.
yeah.
You're gonna be looking at some dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, the visibility from Hummock Pond Road is, I think it's over 1,000 feet.
Yeah, there's no visibility there. I mean, it's the.
It's
cut
Hawthorne
through.
Lane, and the house and the cabana are gonna screen it completely from the street. The only side that would be even a potential visibility would be from the utility access road, which is only.
Yeah,
for
so that's.
residents.
Well,
that
there's
would
no
be-
fence in between the cabana and the house,
Correct.
so there is visibility.
I mean, if you're looking diagonally between
through.
those two, well, that way and that way is what. that
From the
was-
parking,
So
isn't that where the parking
So the
is?
street front screening would be critical to keep that,
Yeah.
yeah, which I think you have approved already, right?
Yeah. Yes. And if there is still visibility, we would, I would just enlarge the screening inside of the,
Visibility when they go to inspect, you mean?
I think so, yeah. The driveway, I'm sorry, I just don't have a big plan in front of me. I guess it's
The driveway's
easier.
not, actually not, the way it's cut in.
Exactly.
You don't.
See, driveway entry is here, thank you, just say. So driveway entry is here, well, so I really feel doubtful that
Yeah,
it's
you can't really see it
really
from the
sharp
plan,
angle
but-
to even see it from here. You have to pull in the property to see this, but if that would be ever a concern, I can, that's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think-
easily fixed.
I think either a fence or some screening between the, what is it, cabana garage, whatever that is.
All right, so, John, comments?
Yeah, this is traveled away right here. Coming out. Right, their scale,
It's 1/8.
8 foot to the inch. I have a scale.
Yeah.
I already measured it. How long is the boardwalk?
The boardwalk is already approved.
That's always approved,
All the
yeah.
other
I'm
landscape.
sorry.
It's all approved, but I'm happy to
Okay,
tell you
just
the
tell them how
information.
much.
Here,
Yeah,
I'll
sorry,
tell you, John.
thank you.
I think it's a similar length to the house.
I just wonder if I'm wrong on it.
You're talking
Like
about the,
42.
Yeah,
It's
thank-
Already approved?
46.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay,
approved,
cool.
yeah.
the one in front of the house, right?
John,
Right. I think there's no, I can't find it here. Any of these 6 different bushes to hide the pool from the road.
So what they're gonna come back to us with is some fencing and some screening. And can we get some 4 stakes for the pool location?
But if we have to put 4 stakes for the pool, how are we gonna reference them? They would, we
Can
know,
you stake the house?
Yeah, we could probably stick the 4 corners of the house and the 4 corners.
that would be really helpful, because then we could see.
I understand, because that's gonna be the thing that's blocking it.
Right.
One other question.
Yes,
He's a professional, I'm not, I don't know the bushes.
All very nice plants.
Jesse, any of these,
Great. They're all good choices.
they're all good?
Mhm.
Okay.
Great thing.
Okay, motion to hold
Thank
for
you.
a view with stakes of the main house and the pool.
and some revisions.
And, yeah, and I don't, or,
Revisions that will assure us on the score of visibility. All those in favor of Bobby's motion?
I,
Aye. Okay, and now we're gonna read all that bad, sorry.
you just do, you want.
Just look at it. You know, like, is this mine?
It's yours. It's from Jesse, right on the table.
Okay, so this cabana, which is just under 20 feet long by 16 feet long, sits next to this barn about 12 feet away from it, and it is not immediately adjacent to the pool, but it's nearby, and it's just meant to sort of be a multi-use space. We tried to keep the facade facing the street, which is the front elevation north, very simple, and put a nice growing trellis on it. The other sides, which face inward towards the lot and have no visibility, have a little bit more glass. They just have some sliding doors that open up to the pool. And then it has a little basement walkout for storage downstairs, and that's kind of it. You can see its scale in relation to the barn in the plan sheet if you want to take a look, but otherwise the 4-part elevations are shown. And that's it. Yeah.
The little connecting pergola piece is part of this.
Say it again?
Little pergola piece that connects it back to the house is part of your application.
Correct.
Yeah.
They wanted a little bit of covered space so they could walk in their socks between the two spaces.
Okay.
And we kept that in the appearance of that little connector is to match the pergolas of the other houses that have pergolas on the property.
Okay.
Very simple.
I should have said this at the outset, but Jesse, you were on the pool, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so are you reviewing this cabana, TJ?
No, I think Jesse ought to stay on it, it's the same
Well,
address.
yeah, I kind of think so. Usually I like to keep the same person on, if there's multiple applications for a piece of property.
I don't have any problems, so I just wanna know, I'm just trying to think ahead to how it relates to the swimming pool.
Yeah, I showed all 3 on the plan sheet. It shows the pool and the,
Yeah,
yeah.
but if we shorten the pool or change it, where it's going to be, then, it might change how we feel where the cabana goes.
All right, but can I,
Yeah,
in
but
terms of the architecture,
yeah,
it sounds like
architecture's
you're
great,
okay. Okay,
great, yeah.
thank you. Val,
It's fine.
okay? Jesse?
I should have asked this on the last application, but it made me think about looking at this location of pool equipment.
Looks like there's a cellar, so maybe down there.
Location of what?
The pool equipment.
Ah,
No, I think at this point, looking at the property, I would just suggest it would be in the far end. Yeah,
Yeah, buried
it would be
in
buried
screening.
in a screening somewhere here.
Adjacent-
Next to the basement access.
Yeah.
It would be,
Okay, yeah.
just complying with the setbacks. I think that's the only location we can fit it anyhow.
Somebody else's yard.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, just put that in to your.
Yes, I'm
plan.
happy to add that.
Oh,
And I will confirm if it might end up being in the basement actually too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the ideal spot.
John?
Where's the carbon point for north?
Say it again?
Where's the carbon point?
It's on the floor
It's on
plan.
the
Well,
far right-hand corner on L100, L100.
these elevations.
Yeah, it's on the landscape plan, the previous page, John.
The cover page.
Yeah, it's on the cover page.
So John, north is the side, north is the one that faces Hawthorne Lane,
Yep.
Right.
which is also, the front of the house.
It seems, if you are on Hawthorne Lane, looking at the corner of the property here, from this road here and this way.
That's, the road's on the other side.
Hawthorne's at the bottom.
I'm sorry?
This is Hawthorne Lane here.
it's flipped upside down on that one.
Yeah.
Don't confuse me, I got 3 answers. This Hawthorne Lane is here.
Yes.
Correct. North is,
Looking in from here,
that's,
south is this way. Okay. Now, if you're down here, I'm assuming this is a street.
no,
That's
that's
a
the
driveway,
A lot,
driveway.
driveway.
where they lost it, okay?
Yep.
Here, John, this might be easier. Right here is Hawthorne.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Where you're showing north, okay,
It's that elevation.
right here. North is this way?
Yeah.
Okay. And you go to the elevation north.
It's number one in the top there. It's like the north in front.
It's elevation, right, it's good. It's got lattice work, right.
Yep.
Now, the other thing I got is that one window that's sitting in the middle of the lattice work.
Oh, the E window.
Yeah, that's down as a, what the hell is it?
Here it is.
Casement. Yeah, right here. This is down as the awning, is it still in or out?
It's an awning out,
Alright,
push out window.
alright. It's, you should chip in or make it fixed,
Tip in or make it fixed. Okay.
one or the other. No?
Uh,
There's a lot of them.
we can make it fixed. That's fine.
Perfect.
Alright,
Yeah.
make it fixed. Okay,
What's
take
the number of that window?
It's E.
It's an
E?
E window.
It's the E window that faces is on the north elevation.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I think we're ready for a motion.
Oh, motion,
Well, let me make sure. Jesse, did I already ask you?
I thought it was fine.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
motion to approve with the E window fixed.
E
On the
window
north.
North elevation.
Sounds great.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's too much food, so can I make you wait here? I have to stop everybody going. Oh. Huh. This is all Lauren. Wait a second. Oh, no. Huh?
We're already starting.
Wisconsin Advisory, no concerns.
Uh-oh, oh, yeah. Well, Val and I know why.
Oh,
We trooped out.
well, so, but hang on.
Due to lack of
We're
visibility.
gonna let Karen
Or not
make her
limited.
presentation.
Okay,
You
so,
ready?
yes,
I'm sorry. TJ, you're on this, right?
Yes, sir.
Just making sure. Okay, go ahead.
okay, so this house is on Baxter Road, and I came in front of you before with the two most viable roof planes or sides elevations for solar. Because it was able to be seen from the road, you did not want it on the southeast, and you also limited the southwest to just a dormer, which is 9 panels, which is not viable enough, not large enough. So the owner said, heck, why don't we just try for the west side, even though it's not gonna produce as much, he still wants to get enough solar up there. It's gonna cost him more because, again, it's not gonna be as productive, but it will be productive enough to supply his power needs. So I'm coming in front of you now to get the west roof planes approved. They are not visible from Baxter Road or any road. You can look on this map, and, I mean, it's very clear that you cannot see it from Baxter Road.
Please don't say that. We're going to have to hold it up for viewings.
Well, we do.
We did have it on the
You did have a
view.
viewing.
Yeah. And so, what conclusion? do you guys
So
reach?
I will say this, I do concur, it's in the back where you're not, we thought that was a road and we went back there, it's a driveway actually. So you will see it from there, but that's not a public way. I would just say, when it's time to make the motion, that the reason it's approved, because it is not the right roof color, it's
Correct.
due to the fact that you
Light
can't
gray.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not familiar with that little road.
You want?
I am looking for a project over here. Someplace.
Let's move on.
Okay, thanks, Val. TJ?
I'm gonna go with the advisory board. Based on their endorsement, I'll say this is appropriate.
Okay. Abby?
I'm okay with it.
You are, okay. John?
The question I have, it is going to be visible above the hedges, you know, the photos don't lie. You know, that's where it's going.
Yeah, I'm not sure
May
that
I?
those, yeah.
I didn't come to argue with you.
No, I'm usually the person who doesn't wanna vote for these.
Hey, she had, she, all right, looking.
No, that was actually, sorry.
This is the skyline.
From Baxter
right
Road,
here.
it just shows, you're seeing that.
So that's this.
So you can't see.
She wants to put them here and here, which is here and here.
You two places, that's all.
Yep, right there and right there.
You have it one way.
And Baxter Road is here,
That's west.
and that has the benefit of another property in between Sankaty Road.
Good? Okay.
I'll make motion to approve, due to the lack of visibility.
Right. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Brooke, you out there somewhere? There you go.
My only thing is, it's not in the old historic area, so put them anywhere you want, don't put them in the old historic.
I think it is in this.
No? I just give you my feelings.
It must be all the way up to the lighthouse. Must be the industry.
Hey, Ryan,
Why don't we get maps of the new historic why don't you give us maps of the new historic area in Wisconsin?
One must exist. I mean, you guys must follow some kind of a map to know what goes
Yes,
before
I
the
can
board.
give you that a straight listing, I can bring them.
Does it go all the way up to the lighthouse now, or what?
No, they're proposing that at the next town meeting, I believe.
Okay, good.
That's a work in progress.
Okay. Jesse, we're back to you, right?
I have to recuse.
Okay, so TJ, we're back to you.
so a point of clarification on this application. There is a part of the application that speaks to a concrete parking area and a brick patio. The concrete area should be concrete pavers and not just straight concrete. It's a,
You mean where it says concrete parking pad, it should say concrete paver?
yeah, concrete
parking
pavers.
pavers?
Yeah, basically like a herringbone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 So that's closest to the road, right?
Where's this crap going?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
It's
Okay, so this
it's
is
gonna be going
our
right here.
island home. Huh?
She wanted to know where that crap is going, and I told her it was going right here.
And that's
What
the
did you-
street, right?
Yeah, that's Orange
It said
Street.
carp.
All right, so,
It's either that or a concrete pad.
I prefer that, to tell you the truth.
Then what? Then these?
I think so.
I think these are a bit formal for this park, and I like the concrete pad. It's simple in
I like
Nantucket,
the simple.
it's practical.
All right. So there we go. What do you say?
you just saved a lot of dough.
Invest that in Google or something.
Yeah. Is this the piece that they just acquired along with Hayes Lucille's?
Yeah, I think so. Is it, was it
It's
the
attached
Haze's?
to it.
Oh,
I believe.
Yeah.
Was it Mike Backman's?
I don't know who it came from, but it's
Mike's next door.
Okay.
yeah. So the area where there's like an overlook, which is next to the fence, I think that does need to be something a little nicer than a concrete pad. You know,
I'm sorry.
I know, where are you now?
So if you see where the parking is, where it says 11 by 22 and 9 by
Yes.
22,
Yeah.
right next to that, there is an area which is kind of an overlook. If you go to this site, you're kind of you're sort of raised up above the property, and allows you to set up and have a picnic there, and it'll be an accessible space. So it has to have some kind of hardscaping on it. And if we're gonna do a concrete pad for the parking area, I don't think that we should do a concrete pad where the picnic area is.
Well, where else are you putting a concrete concrete pavers?
Nowhere else, it's just here and here. This is the pad for the this is Orange Street. ADA parking, picnic area. This can't be grass, because you have to be able to wheel a wheelchair.
So you're gonna basically insinuate this concrete pad into the shell drive?
Yes,
Okay,
yep. The shell drive is gonna remain as is.
got it.
And then this part right here, which is the picnic area, needs to be something, I think, other than concrete.
Does everybody get that? Everyone understand what the proposal
Well,
is?
why is the choice just these pavers or, I mean,
Well, we could have regular brick, I
yeah,
guess. It's
what's
just-
wrong with that?
I mean, we'd be
Or-
since we're saving the money by
There you go,
going
you
with
can
straight
spend it on
concrete, we
real
could spend
bricks
it on
over
real
there.
brick there.
Fantastic idea.
What do you
I'd rather
think?
see something real, like, Belgian block or.
These look
Ooh,
like
you can't do
City Hall
Belgian block
Plaza
with
or something.
wheelchairs.
Yeah, right.
So how about regular brick?
That's a
That's a
fantastic idea.
great idea, huh, Abby?
Okay, let's go
Novel.
let's go around the table. Val, what do you think?
I'm good with either. Regular brick ties in with the little bus stop in front of, this area, so.
Right? And are you okay with the 2 parking spaces
Yeah.
just being a regular old concrete pad?
Yep.
Right,
I don't know, I
okay.
can't.
John?
It's just a
The
cloud and stuff.
question is, to Jesse, those are not Nantucket style bricks. I don't know where they are or where they are here.
Yeah.
Hey, John?
John, we're not going with that.
Brooke, tell them what we
Yeah.
just suggested as a revision.
Alright. So, no. No. Concrete, regular concrete, red brick.
Where's Orange Street?
Do that as an exhibit A.
Yeah.
You come in.
Oops.
It is a fence here.
Yeah, there's a fence there. This is all shell.
TJ's on.
This is a concrete pad integrated into the shell, and then this is gonna be red brick, regular old brick.
Not fake brick, John, real
It'll be
brick.
this stuff.
Not
Not
gonna be
that.
this stuff, alright? Alright.
Okay, TJ?
No concerns. I like the real brick as well instead of the pavers.
Okay, so we can either do an exhibit A on that to show concrete pad where the 2 parking spaces are and red brick where the little overlook piece is, or we can just somehow verbally put that into the.
This is
I can do a
exhibit
staff
A.
approval. I'm happy to go in and draw the stuff into the plan, so I don't know if you're still doing staff approvals.
So moved.
Yes,
All
for
right, so
exhibit A.
John has moved to approve this with the 2 parking spaces being a concrete slab as opposed to pavers, and the overlook piece being real brick pavers. All those in favor of John's motion?
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Evergreen Way, 32. Hello?
Hello, everyone.
Jesse, you're on it. Okay, you're requesting a fence, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So you have your little site plan that shows the fence essentially going around the back,
Yes. So
part of the way up the 2 sides, and then coming back across to meet the house. And
Is there gonna be any planting? Typically, we like to have, every few sections have some sort of vine or.
Yeah, there's a
planting.
plan for extensive Leland cypress along the perimeter of the fence.
But on the outward side?
It remains to be seen. I think initially we planned for it to be inside the fence on our
So
property.
that's what I'm trying to get at. We went up there and, I can see why you want it.
Yes,
But we require, when there is so much fencing, that every so many sections, there is something on the exterior side that faces out to the public. It could
Sure.
be a vine.
yep. I'm sure if we can reach
Yeah.
consensus on the style of fence that we want to build, that's something we would
And
absolutely
then,
consider.
there is a lot of rows of, what were they? Leland cypress? Is there any thought to perhaps planting something in front of the section that is facing the street?
Yes, I think there's privet planned for that area.
Okay.
And is that proposed, that little section there, is that proposed as a 5 and 1 too?
Correct.
So all of it's 5 and 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I thought it seemed excessive too, but, I think it'll be even more noticeable if we do a 5 and 1. I wonder if it shouldn't just be a simple board fence without the trellis on top. It's just my simple thought.
That's certainly a more affordable method for me also.
Well,
So then you're not
That's-
disagreeing with that?
that's-
proposal.
that is,
And by that, you mean something that matches what we've shown?
so,
your
yeah, so it's like what's below there, but it doesn't
Understood.
have the trellis top.
Well, to be clear, so a 5 and 1 fence is 6 feet high,
Right,
5 feet plus 1.
right.
Are you okay with it being 6 feet high of just board?
Well,
I'm just,
yeah, I think so. I think it's a lot of fence. I wanted to bring it back a little bit, but I don't
well,
know how.
you're allowed to voice that also.
Yeah, I just, well, what's the choice, 5?
Choice is kind of ours.
By a foot? Does it go by feet?
Um,
I mean, I don't know, what does the rest of the board think?
Let's
think-
let's just go around and maybe we can come to a consensus view. John?
Yes, as proposed by Steve and other members in, we were working on the fences,
Mm-hmm.
and it says no matter what the structure is, from there to the road, if it's over 4 feet, it's gotta start at the corner of this out here and go back. All right, like it has. It's gotta be behind this point right here, this the corner.
Well, it is
He's way
behind
off
that.
the street.
It is
He's way
behind
back
that.
here.
I agree,
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, okay.
I'm making a point that was what we set up as a possible way of doing it in the future, and that was months ago.
Okay. So are you, John?
I didn't hear you.
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
John? So Abby's in favor of a fence being simpler without the lattice on the top?
all right.
Are you okay with just a board fence?
It's fine with me. I
Okay.
have no problem, I just mentioned a reminder that we
Yeah.
set up a little policy there, and we should stick by it, and this one does.
Okay, thank you. Val?
Okay, so I think the northern side doesn't need any vegetation, because when we were out there, we saw there was vegetation between you and the next property.
Yes.
So that would be good for the screening there. I would just ask that how many sections? Every 2?
Yeah, consider.
Every
the
2,
section
put
like
some
8 feet
sort of
long.
8 feet, yeah.
vegetation on the outside.
Sure, yep.
And in the front, if there could be some planting in front of the fence that's in the front. And also, don't put it right on the property line, bring it in a little bit.
Yeah, if we plant in front of the fence, we'll move it back accordingly.
And I'm okay with the fence being either.
So this
Like
is
a
perfect.
6-foot board.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're wide open back there too.
Yeah, and we've looked around the neighborhood for any precedent, so we're happy for clarity.
Yeah, there is fences, it's just, this is such a long,
It's lot
that's a
of fence.
lot of
Yep,
fence.
yep.
It needs to be,
But I know why you need
Yeah,
it.
privacy comes to mind in the neighborhood.
I know, but everybody else used trees.
Yeah, I know. Yes, yes. Yeah. Jesse?
I'm okay with the 3 sides that are going along the property lines. Is the one going to the fence that's going to the house, is that a 6-foot fence?
That's the plan currently.
Okay.
And that, you said that would have the privet right in front of it? Or would the privet be down near the road?
There will be plantings at the street. There'll also be plantings in front of the fencing.
Okay, so double planting,
Yep.
that's double good.
Did that answer your question, Jesse?
Yeah. And we're gonna bring it in a little bit and put some plants on the outside. Yeah, I'll go with the board on it.
And I'm hearing a 6-foot tall solid board fence.
Val's about to make a motion.
For sure.
I'm doing it for Exhibit A.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. I'm saying the north is not required to have any screening added as there's existing natural vegetation there.
Right.
The west, the south, and the east to be not right on the property line and have plantings every 2 sections on the exterior. 6-foot board fence, natural to weather.
Right. And is there language in there about the east side, that's the side that faces Evergreen, having planting in front of it?
Yeah, I included it in the 3.
Okay.
This is yours.
All right.
Those are the ones.
Everybody satisfied with that?
Yeah, so the motion is screening on the west, south, and east, every 2 sections on the outside of the fence, and that it's a board fence natural to weather, and they're not required to have any screening on this side because there exists screening already.
6 or 5 foot?
It's 6.
Okay.
Do you want
I
it?
didn't know the difference whether the last was a 5 and 1 or a 6.
Well,
Either
that's
one-
what
either one
we
was
were
provable.
pondering.
I don't know.
Well, so the point was, Abby's point was that the lattice on the top was too fancy. So she just wanted board. So with a 5 and 1, it's actually 6 feet tall overall. So if you're trying to get it simple and keep the height, it would be 6 feet.
Good idea.
I think it's 6, I think 6 feet's fine.
You think it's
And that's-
high? Is that what you said, high?
No, I think it's fine,
Oh,
fine,
Okay,
fine,
okay.
fine.
All right, fine. All right. So Val, that was your motion.
Yep,
All those in favor?
for Exhibit A.
Per Exhibit A. All
Mhm.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Christine Winston.
Who?
Christine Winston?
My wife?
Oh,
Yes.
she does flowers.
That's correct, yeah.
She's wonderful.
I think so too.
That's nice.
Okay,
Thanks for hearing.
John Lampy, that is. TJ, it's you.
It's me.
Okay, HSAB says not appropriate, extreme manipulation of terrain, need photos.
How come this wasn't on the view?
It was. Oh, this?
Oh,
Oh.
maybe we should view it.
Oh, for words.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
yeah.
Because it's kind of complicated, so I think maybe we should.
So, well, let's allow these folks to give a presentation, maybe that will be the end of the presentation.
So
Okay.
let me go ahead.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I started doing retaining walls with the understanding that, number one, they couldn't be higher than 4 feet on the exposed side, as well as it not being viewable from a public spot, or a public way. So I mistakenly proceeded with that. But still, at the end of the day, you will not be able to see any retaining wall from a public way. So if you look on that plan on the north side, there's a fence that Mr. Cranston abuts that, and that fence was fallen down. It was, I do have a picture of it.
Is north side Delaney?
No.
No,
This.
the Delaney's east side.
Yeah, so this is the fence that John is talking about, which is falling
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, it's, so we took it down, and I would replace it with basically the same thing.
Oh, so it's not a chain link fence, it's a board fence.
It's a board fence, yeah. And so
Give it
where,
to him,
yeah. You want me to pass
Is this the
it
chain link?
Yeah, I wanna see
Got
that.
multiple. So, few things, John.
Yep.
Like, so this is actually Cranston's fence?
No, it was my fence. Well,
Okay.
it was the fence that I inherited when I bought the property.
Okay, so your
It's 20
plan,
inches.
your plan is to take down the one that's falling down and put the same kind of
That's
thing
right.
up? Okay. And it sounded like maybe these walls are already in place. Is that correct?
Yes, as indicated. There should
You
be
mean
another
all
plan
yellow?
there. Flip that over, that
This?
8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, there they are.
Okay, but so the good news about the viewing of this is we don't have to speculate about anything if they're already there, right?
That's right. They haven't been backfilled or anything.
But all the walls that you are suggesting putting in place are actually already there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So if we went out and viewed it, we're basically viewing what you're proposing.
Right. The only thing is that if you look at the section, look at the elevation drawings, some of it was going to be filled in with timbers, because these were, I was trying to make something long-lasting that would not fall apart over 15 years, trying to do the responsible thing. So, in any case, that's what I had proposed, but that is not in. The timber aspect
Yeah, but
of it.
the timber walls are lower than the
That's
concrete walls. The concrete walls look like they're just shy of 4 feet
Supposed to
high.
be, yeah. Exactly. Timber ones were supposed to be like 18 inches and lower.
Yeah, so
To go to
the bigger concern, I think, would be the concrete walls.
Yeah.
Ray,
Do you guys want?
Oh,
Yeah.
can I just speak to it? I'm here for the neighbor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
if this is helpful to you guys, but when you go out and view it, so the corners that are exposed of concrete, the property line that it's adjoining is my client's property. So my clients would be the ones looking at this concrete wall. And
Is this to the north, Sophie?
so we're,
This is, she's over here.
so my clients own this property.
Ah.
So we're looking at this exposed
see.
concrete right now. And so what I will say is that, what he has done from a actual drainage standpoint is extremely helpful. And, while it's sort of unsightly now, our plan is actually, we're bringing upgrade a little bit, so it will be obscuring half of what you're seeing here. And so when we found out that these concrete walls, I met him on site and I said, like, what is the plan here? This is, you know, this concrete's coming out of the ground, and, you know, what ultimately, he's willing to make it look like this, to not have a big concrete wall, to match the other stone walls that are around this neighborhood. Because the lot that, like, if he didn't do this,
he would have, like, all of the water from this property would have gone into my client's yard. So it was like, and so if he had done it out of pressure treated, it would have been really difficult to repair it. So like, big picture, I think if he could make it not look like concrete, it was the right thing to do for like the drainage of this whole neighborhood where all these property lines are coming together, which is really complicated. There's like a paper road, and ultimately there's a guest house that's gonna pin it in. That would make it almost impossible to work on if it were pressure treated and it started to fail. So in my client's opinion is, since they're the ones looking at it, you will not be able to see it from a public way. You'll be able to see it from basically their yard. It is what, if they had been asked, what they would have wanted. It's just, and so what you guys are seeing, I guess my point is, it will not look like it does now. You'll see half of it, and he's saying he's willing to make it look like the other stone walls that are on that lower property, so.
Well, and the other thing you just said is if we're bringing the grade up on your side.
Right.
Your client's side, the net height of the wall will be less, even if we could view it from a public way, but no, that's an interesting thing.
Is what I'm saying.
This is one of those paper road things, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, but
Three lots.
this appears like it was a paper road, but it was probably a yard sale deal.
Yeah.
And your client bought the whole thing.
Right.
So this is no longer public way. That's private property. So do you guys want to view this and just make sure that everything's sort of copacetic? Given that some of these walls are like 4 feet high.
Yeah, and I think more than that is just to understand that you shouldn't manipulate the grade without coming in first, you know.
The whole, you know what it was, is that this is a 3-lot subdivision, and I thought that I was able to change the grade to lots before it came into HDC. Now, I may be wrong.
Who told you that?
Well, I don't know, I know that one of the neighbors here did it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, if they
But,
do it.
in any case, I mean, my mistake.
Well, look, John, comment?
As you know, all ground is supposed to coordinate the space. This is 8 to me,
8, yeah.
so it's gonna, we got time to make another one of these.
Well, it'll be a big drawing, John. It'd be twice the size of that.
Right.
Oh, I can draw it.
Okay,
You do like
This is, if you want to see this, this is,
now, my question is this. In the back, whatever's here, I don't know. No, it doesn't show anywhere. What, if this is connected to this land, or is that one
it's
piece
gonna
of
be
land?
3 lots eventually. It's gonna be 3 lots, 2 more lots down there, 3 altogether.
You're
It
gonna
was,
replace stockade fence here.
yes, yep.
Stockade basically is not a provable fence.
Well, hey, John,
I
it's
know.
not really a stockade fence. That's what he's replacing.
Yes, you can
Stockade
find
is
it.
the one that has the little points on it.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
those,
no, that's.
you know,
Okay, I'm just trying to get this in my mind, what's
Yeah.
going on. Now, you got chain link fence back here?
No.
No chain link on it.
I think the link
Should
thing
link
is what's
fence-
confusing.
That's one of those black landscape fabric fences to keep for
wetlands
protection
out
around
when
the,
you're working?
protection around the pool.
It's just a vegetation fence, you know, with privet, like
Yeah.
on both sides.
It's a wire fence,
Yeah.
John. It's not a chain link fence.
Okay, but even
4
wire,
feet high.
is there gonna be
Plastic.
bushes around it?
Yeah, there's a very mature
No,
privet
there's
coming
nothing
down
on
here
paper,
that's
that's
probably
what I'm saying.
30 years old, this privet down here.
Our staff has gotta pick up on this stuff when they submit it, we set
Oh,
up
it was
rules
when
and
the pool was
regulations.
approved.
Hey, John,
Yes,
we're gonna view this thing.
Okay.
Because the walls are all
I understand
there, we can look at it. Okay?
okay,
And then we'll reconvene. Can somebody,
Yeah, motion for review, Ken Delaney.
very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, well, we'll see you next time. And Toby, thanks for the clarification. That'll help
So does
us.
that make sense when you guys are, when you look at it now, just picture, 2.5 feet more of dirt of my clients covering it.
I get
If
it.
that
John, do you
helps
want some of these back?
Did you apply for that?
Yes, and it was
Yeah,
approved.
next time if you want.
You could, we have 4 of them, so.
But you want 4 each.
The neighbors usually always complain, not go along with it.
Yeah, it's a rarity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Cranston's all happy.
Well, that's
Cranston, right? Bob. Yeah.
Does he live there?
It's Jim, isn't it?
No, the old bus driver.
Jim.
Oh, yeah, Bob's different.
Jim.
Okay, thank you. Hi. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Okay, 22 Boulevard.
Guys ready?
Okay, let's identify the board. That's obviously you. Yep. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, we're at 22 Boulevard, kind of halfway down between Surfside Road and Belvedere Road. Lovers Lane. It's a big, how many acres we're working with here? 3 acres?
Almost 3 acres.
3 acres. We're setting the main house back from the street approximately 200 plus feet, or from the boulevard at least. And yeah, nicely designed house, and I hope you.
East elevation faces Boulevard?
East elevation faces the boulevard. Yep.
Okay,
So your arrow is, something's wrong.
My east isn't right.
Well, it looks like east faces the boulevard.
Oh yeah, that's west. That's west.
And north is what faces
pickup.
White Hart
You're
Lane,
absolutely right.
North.
which is a road, a traveled way.
Yeah, no, White Hart. Yeah, no, north faces set is north.
Hold on.
That's accurate.
Okay, north faces. Okay,
My north
but
elevation
so the house is actually kind of diagonal to the cardinal point. So what the front of the house is actually would be southwest.
Right.
Yep. Southwest. Yep.
Okay. So southwest faces Boulevard and southeast labeled
North.
West.
north.
No.
Oh no,
West.
okay, west. Faces White
Not really.
No?
The south
Wait,
elevation
here's
faces
White
White
Hart.
Hart.
Well, so I just said southeast.
Okay. Yeah. So that's labeled south on the plan on the elevation, and yeah, I guess it faces southeast.
The water's this way.
No.
No?
No, here's the, so south is that way. Yeah.
So the southeast elevation, what's labeled south is southeast.
It's labeled south.
Yep. It's on page 5.
Thanks.
And the intention of this property is to screen out White Hart. I mean, I don't think we were proposing anything objective on that elevation, but the idea for the objectable, but the whole, that property line is gonna get vegetated incredibly heavily. I mean, the concept of this property is not to be accessed from White Hart, or not to address White Hart.
Okay.
So.
All right.
What's the height then?
The max
Of
height,
the max.
that main mass is 28.5. But it is a 1.5-story house, and this isn't like a 2-story. I was thinking so, but,
Yeah, 28.5.
yeah.
What's the colors?
White with, white.
White and white.
White sash, white trim, natural roof. Natural.
I like it.
It's positive now.
It wouldn't change
TJ,
anything.
what do you think? Comments on it?
I'm trying to tear holes in it, but it's well done, and I can't. I think it's appropriate.
Okay. John?
Yes, number 4 window. Listed as on.
Oh yeah, they're on the. Well, it's labeled west.
Yeah, right.
But they're behind this gable. They're in an obscure location, John. I gotta tell you, you can't even.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, they're in a very unusual location that you can't.
The chimney is there.
So, you want me to show you where they are, John?
This here, This is Surfside, this
This is the boulevard
This is inland.
here. Yeah.
According to this,
Water's over here.
this is the boulevard, this is
Yep,
White Hart Lane.
White Hart, yeah. Yeah.
Right, now, my question is,
If you go down
Yeah.
Surfside Road, you can go to Surfside.
these,
Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
are these?
No, it's a 6-light awning, and they're behind
Okay, it's
pieces.
an awning, right? Is it gonna tilt in, or is it gonna be fixed?
It's gonna tilt out,
No. Is it
but
gonna
we can
tilt
make them
in?
fixed for
Okay, you
you.
get a
Yeah.
choice,
We'll fix them for you.
huh?
We'll fix them. Fixed.
It's gonna be fixed.
Fixed.
Okay, a minute for that.
Yep.
John, tell me what the number is on those windows.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, and they're described as awnings.
Okay, so we'll do number 4 windows will be fixed?
It's fixed, yeah. The rest of it looks, that's gonna tie right in with the rest of the building, the other buildings.
See,
When you get that.
TJ, you were trying to find full, couldn't Val. Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think we know what the motion would be.
Yeah, motion to approve with the number 4 windows fixed.
Very good, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we got a garage studio up. And so TJ, you'll obviously be on all 4 of
Okay.
this application.
Probably got my cardinal sign messed up on this one too.
Oh, yeah, so if we could sort of after the fact say, can include as part of Abby's motion to correct the cardinal points on the elevations.
Okay. I'll write that in after.
Thanks. Here's your north side. This is kind of
Northish. What are we doing? The garage studio.
which is just to the north of the house we just approved. So the side that faces Boulevard would be.
It's labeled east, but we all know that it should be
That is actually-
south.
So
It's
the
cute.
garage doors face.
Yeah, about 400 feet back.
No, I'm
but-
just.
Yeah, but you're right,
That was
absolutely.
just in the frame of reference more than anything else.
Yep.
I got nothing.
Okay, TJ?
Looks great, no concerns.
No. What do you think, John?
Only one
Probably
question.
number 4 windows.
Awning in there.
Is there one there?
Yeah. A and B windows, the outswing windows.
A and B.
And your doors. Outswing doors.
Those are doors.
Oh, John, those are doors. Those are outswing doors. That's the garage doors,
Wait a minute.
right?
Yep.
Okay, it says double outswing.
Yeah, that's garage doors. You know, barn doors.
That's okay.
That's for both garage doors?
You wanna make those fixed?
Okay. Terminology.
Okay, all
Motion to approve.
right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, pool cabana.
Ben, I'm just writing correct cardinal points, but
I
you
will.
can do it on the plan
I will, I'll just
instead
hand
of
it on. No, I'm not printing
copying
out.
them again. Just
Yep, I'll scratch it.
I gotta write one more thing in there.
Brian,
Yep,
he's fine.
yep,
I was just checking to see if I was right.
you're right.
Still remember.
Yeah,
This is great, great house.
yeah, thank you. Ben's doing pretty good so
Good
far.
another one, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Agree. Oh,
Cabana.
this tiny little cute thing.
Yep.
take over the,
She's folding.
I know what she's.
Anything, Abby?
The ice, are they,
That's the ice cream.
ice cream, yeah, I know.
Pick me up.
Thank you.
Did I ask you yet, TJ?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
It's nice.
John?
Cabana.
Yep.
It's a cabana.
I'm just curious, you're thinking open garage, you know? Terminology.
Oh, good. Okay, John has made a motion to approve this one. All those in favor?
Aye.
And last but not least, we will have the pool.
The pool. So yeah, right now, we're proposing a automatic cover, but if we have to come back for a fence, of course we will come back for fencing. But right now, we're not proposing a fence.
Fencing for what?
The pool.
The pool?
Right, we
Why
have
don't you
the
do one of
automatic
those
cover.
things?
Right.
Automatic cover.
Can you say
Yeah.
if you have to come back? Are they thinking of rescinding?
No, I'm just saying if we decide not to.
Oh,
but
I
if we do any fencing, we'll come back. Right now, it's
Got it.
just the pool.
Yep.
With the bluestone coating, no other patio.
Should we hit this one with the, not pool, not
Yeah.
visible
Yeah.
from public way bit? I mean, because we could labor all night about the vegetation and so forth, but at the end of the day, if it's not visible because of vegetation, then we're good.
That's
It's
my
the intention
motion.
of the project.
Okay,
Approve
so
the pool.
Abby has made a motion to approve the pool, oh, I'm sorry, John.
You have a
Yeah, no,
comment?
yes,
Yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
Question. Yeah. 40 foot, is mentioned anywhere in here that it has the, roller?
Automatic
Yes.
cover, I haven't noted it, but that is the intention of
It
the
should be on there, you know, that way
Okay.
something doesn't get by us, you know?
Sure.
Okay, do you want us to just include, Abby just made a motion, you want to include that in the motion?
Sure.
Okay, so,
And, no diving boards. I mean,
No diving boards.
no curly diving boards. So the motion is that the pool will be invisible invisible from a public way at the time of inspection and thereafter, and that it has an automatic pool cover. All those in favor of Abby's motion?
Aye.
Okay,
You don't get to vote.
that's it for you guys.
Perfect, thank you.
Boy, yeah,
Thank you.
it was a real coup.
yeah.
Okay, Joe.
Pidgey, as Steve would say, go play your numbers.
Yeah, seriously, 4 for 4.
All right, so Jesse, you're on this one.
I'm on this one. All right, you got it. Ooh. A lot of big
I have to
squares.
say, all those buildings out there are looking pretty fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
They're
distraction
nice and
really.
quiet.
Yeah, now that they've.
Oh,
This
so you're
one's
gonna put another one up, is that what we're looking at now?
We are putting, yes.
Did Val tell you I was complaining? I'm on the bicycle path a lot, so I look back in
But
there.
you'll notice we have, I
I
even
know.
have pictures for you.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Do you mean on that little stretch that goes from Pulpus Road
And
to
it's
Milestone
it's one of
Road?
my favorite stretches, yeah.
That little piece,
Yeah.
they really corrupted that, didn't
We
they?
have planted many, Abby, with the intention of planting many
Oh,
more.
look at
Oh,
that.
See?
oh, good.
So,
Let's see, so let me get oriented here.
okay.
Milestone, Pulpus, that's the main showroom. Oh, so this is in that big parking lot.
Yes.
Where am I gonna park now?
95% of it would be over the existing asphalt, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The building that's being reviewed right now, for all of those of you who have gone into Island Lumber and parked back there behind that big lumber shed, it's going right where that parking lot is. Oh, is this, what are the materials, Joe?
The same materials as in the previous buildings that were
Everything else.
approved.
Same colors,
It's
all
a
that.
gray steel frame, gray steel siding, slate gray siding, charcoal gray, and black crinkle coat roofing with the soft white light panels. So it's the same material as in the previous buildings approved.
and it's just shy 30 feet. It's like 29 feet.
This is all white. Is that correct?
It's like a clouded,
Oh.
but it's white, but it's a clouded.
Are they
white,
all
yeah.
that color?
They're all that color.
It seems darker to me.
It helps with the lighting, but it doesn't have the direct sunlight
What?
coming through if they were.
Yeah,
If you order fireworks.
it's like every other
Looks-
building
looks
out
like
there.
everybody's holding.
Stack it for me.
He's got a proposed screening there. Is that all metal or natural?
No.
Folks, John has made a motion to approve this as submitted.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
One question, what are the little blocks on the roof, are those that plastic, light shade?
It's light panels, if that's what you're talking about, yes.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was
Well,
quick.
it doesn't look like anybody's here. I would have.
Marty said it'd be here in 5 minutes.
What?
Marty said it'd be here in 5
Oh,
minutes.
motion to hold, when do you wanna hold it till the end of the meeting or when he comes or something?
It's up to you guys because I need to recuse from this.
Hold for representation, I'd say.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Are we gonna take it tonight though?
It sounds like he's coming in 5
Yeah,
minutes.
I think he's on his way.
All right, we'll do ours. Cameron Dias.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
all in favor
Wait,
of,
holding
holding, Wisconsin Gardner, Marty's, what is it, 8 Shakamo Road. All in favor? Aye.
John, they're holding it, Marty's gonna be here in 5 minutes, so they're holding it for
No, she's
representation.
been around.
Oh, okay.
She didn't come last meeting though.
Yeah. she-
Okay, so Val's up now.
This is Cameron Dias, Nanny's grandson.
Hello?
We had been in previously to turn his shop into a house, but that proved to be too difficult, so he's proposing a modular behind the shop. 200 plus feet off the road. Very
I just
basic.
have to ask about these signs, are they stolen?
We know nothing about
Are
that.
these stolen road signs?
Man of many treasures.
Dias, Cameron Dias.
Okay.
No, that's on hold.
Oh,
Send a police officer.
what did he want?
Yeah.
He wants a new dwelling.
For 29.
A new dwelling
29 and 3 and 5, 6.
behind the
Well,
shop.
John, it's not too far from your place. It's across the street, sort of.
Well, you guys know where this is, right? Manny's shop?
Right next to the Muse, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
3 houses down.
so this is the muse here?
No, it's
No.
like 3 or 4 houses down from that. It's
The
right
Muse is two
across
down.
from Miles Reese's.
Old pit.
Yeah.
This is where they
This
had
this
that
is
light
all
ship
Milesville
basket
right
thing a few
here.
years ago,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and there was a fire.
Johnny
There was a
McLaughlin
fire.
lives
There was a
right up
fire
here.
and the shop burned up, and he was gonna turn it into a house, but it's too much work, so we're just
Yeah.
gonna do
He's
the
up
house.
here.
Okay,
Yeah, he's on my Comet Avenue.
Okay.
You sort of go up
So
and
this-
branch off
this is across the street.
across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the road good or the bike path kind of goes really low and then it comes up, and then you've got the Muses right over here.
And
Okay.
this is down from the street, like.
All right.
Yes.
So
Look at architecture.
and this is going behind this.
The
Behind
shop
everything.
building. If you look at the site plan, it's a kind of an odd shaped lot.
Yeah.
And he's contending with wetland issues as well, so this is basically where it can go.
Yeah.
So didn't we have, what were we talking about, height around that area? Remember, there was, next to the Muse?
Yeah. So yes,
So-
that was closer to the Muse. That was like 2 doors or maybe even 1 door away from the Muse.
Right,
Yeah,
right
they're
next
putting a new place
door.
up right next door.
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
So this is 29.3, that's almost,
They're a little further away.
And it's
Right.
down in a valley.
Like, am I correct in saying that Richie,
T
Yes.
he's
is,
like 2 doors down from
but he's up the hill.
Yeah.
This is it slopes down that lot. I don't know if you are familiar with that area, but there's sort of a
Yeah, it's about 6 feet from the road, and then as you go back down towards.
I just don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb. I want it to be the same as the other buildings around. You know, like this house is 1 story.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We're all on this because obviously Val is representing. So Jess, comments? For TJ?
The only thing I could see doing is matching the paint configuration on the garage to 6/6. Otherwise, I think it looks fine.
So the garage is 1/1.
It's kind of.
It's a mix of everything.
Yeah, it's a little mixed bag because I definitely see some 6/6.
Manny's. On the first
John,
page.
this is behind Nanny's.
This
garage.
is-
I know where it is. yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we going up
No,
No, behind.
it's behind.
behind it.
There's the
Okay.
shop, and there's where he wants to put the house.
I get it.
Would you be willing to?
But hang on. So TJ, I'm sorry, we sort of cut you off. You got lost there.
That was really my only other comment. I mean, I believe that the design of the structure itself would fit the site, and especially, you know, there is a little bit of a height concern, but I feel though that as far back as it's pushed, it mitigates that concern with respect to it. So
Thank you.
that's it.
Jesse, anything to offer?
I agree with TJ, 6/6 would look more historic. What's the color?
It's to match the other buildings there. It's white trim,
Okay.
white sash, certainty 3-tab gray to match, you know, the building in front of it.
Trying to make it look, match everything around.
Okay.
I'm okay with it because it's 169 feet from Surfside Road.
169 plus it has a building like smack right in front of it. But should we add the 6/6 deal to the windows?
Would be nice.
Could we maybe match my grandmother's house, 2/2?
2/2.
Where's your grandmother's house?
50, right next door.
Yeah, but we gotta tell you, the 2/2 are horizontal 2/2. Right?
No,
Yeah.
but,
Oh. Yeah, no, it's
No,
like
but
a
we meant like
1950s
this.
style.
Like
No,
a-
no, but she's.
no, I saw it, I saw it.
It's not a deal breaker if they stay the way they are. I mean, I know it's more
Okay.
money for 6/6.
My own view is that, you know, yes, the building in front of it is a one-story building, but you're looking down the length of a one-story building. I think the chances of you seeing any of these windows is very, very slim indeed. So I'd be okay with the proposal the way it is. Now, John, did you motion? You made a motion to approve as submitted? Yeah? Okay, so John has made a motion. All those in favor of John's motion?
Aye.
Aye. You guys good?
I'm good.
You're
TJ,
approved.
You good?
Yep.
Okay, everybody's in. All
Just
right.
had to give you a hard time.
Yes.
Yeah, we always have to give everybody a hard time. It's our job. Okay, Martin
you.
has arrived late as usual.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you guys
Such a
want,
nice kid.
now, again, I'm recusing from this, so I shouldn't even be speaking on this, but, so
Okay.
Are we going to Marty's?
it's totally up to you guys.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, I
Bring it
mean,
on, Marty.
we
So-
basically just flipped places.
Yeah. Hey, you're in.
I'm telling you, you
There you
are. I keep wondering what you're looking at up there. You're looking at that. By the way, those are Army members.
Go, Marty.
Lovely landscape in the middle of nowhere. Can't be seen from with even if a crow flies nearby.
Motion to approve.
Pretty simple.
Wow. Wow, that's
Is that sample photo in Camden,
I was
Maine?
just thinking that.
I've been
That's
there.
beautiful.
I was just
Nice.
thinking that, TJ.
It's a
Yeah.
spirit photo, period.
It's funny. They had historical reenactments.
Simple family home, country garden, vegetables, a place to dip your toes, and a spa for the children to relax in, and to keep them out of the parents' hair. Perfect.
And a staff.
Perhaps, and the staff. I think they may live remotely.
Is anybody ready to go? This is a lot to take in.
A lot to take in, but at the
Where
same
is
time.
the road?
Marty, how much of a manipulation of the grade is going on
Well,
here?
this is what's really interesting about this site. The existing grades that you're seeing on this site are pre-existing. And I think to find a common place to point, if I may. You see over on this side, on the right, so there's like an old sort of kettle hole back here. And this is the harbor up in this corner. Okay, so it looks out at the creeks. It's got a nice little estuary out in front. And the wetland sort of comes over this way down in front. But, you know, the interesting thing is the way that it basically falls 45 feet right down. Like all of Shawcamo, it's up and it's down.
Here?
It's all over the place.
Where's the sort of, is this plateaued or?
Yeah, right now this is this whole area all the way up to there, all pre-existing at the existing height, not the height of the floor of the house, but the height of the landscape, right? And so of course, you know, the big thing is you have to stay back from the wetland setbacks, which is what puts me up in the air. There are these wood retaining walls that are there now. I'm going to Concom to get rid of them, you know, and but my approach to this property is my similar approach to my last project is to have as much land forming and simplicity to the outside. So this is a meadow bioregional approach, and bioregional means that you take the biology of the region and you incorporate it into the landscape. So as we look forward in our landscapes on Nantucket, this is a platform that we should all be, I believe we should all be focused on. So the indigenous sedges and the bayberries and the clethras that are already on this site are what are going to be used in this lower landscape. The landscaping that's there right now is extensive. This house has been scheduled for demo, so I've removed and saved some of the plants that are appropriate for reuse and are maybe specimen style. Large vitexes, some big wisterias and things like that, a couple of big pieces of privet. But as a rule, this whole landscape and this design is about engaging the view of the estuary below. So it's a very simple plan, and it's working with the existing contours in all conditions. None of these contours you see in this yellow area down in front, right? None of those have been changed whatsoever. And as we come up the hill, the only time I'm making a change is where it says lawn on the left side. You see at the end of the pool where it says lawn?
No.
It's best to show John.
Shall I show it? Okay. Up in this corner, right here. I'm just making it so they can walk around the house. But up to that point, the whole idea is that the wall and the wild existing grades and existing vegetation come right up to the house. And then it has a little bit of a garden inside with the terrace. But other than that, it's a whole native approach. The inside yard now has a huge square brick and fake stone driveway with cement, all three mixed together.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be changing everything. Everything will be permeable. It's going to native stone. We're gonna be doing just pea stone on that to match the sandy road that you drive up to get there. And this is the last house on this side of the road. This is number 8 Shawcamo, and they enter Shawcamo Road, except for the electrical easement, from the other side, coming in all the way from the Pulpus Road now. You
Where
can't
is
drive
the
through anymore.
Where is that property?
Maine.
Huh?
Maine.
Maine, I was gonna say, it's not in there.
Marty, did you say you're demoing the house? What did you?
The house has been approved for demo, yeah.
But this in the landscape is the new house.
This is the new house on the
The
landscape.
footprint.
Yeah.
Right, which is also approved.
You have photos
Okay.
of the old house?
The house, so
No,
this,
no
the
photo.
house in.
I don't.
The house has been approved?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
And the barn.
Just, okay, thanks, Marty. Would anybody like to comment?
One more question. Native natural vegetation that is not to be disturbed. Can you give me an idea where that is?
That's,
versus-
well, it's certainly the yellow line up at the top
Right,
finger there.
yeah.
That's all native there now.
Yeah.
After the demo of the house, my goal is very simple. If I may use Val's plan, this area down here will be a long grass play meadow, meaning mowed once a month, sort of idea.
Where it says 21.5?
Wait, yeah, down at the low flat point.
Okay.
Okay, that's also where things like the wells and, you know, the other stuff sort of seem to have to end up. Then all the hillsides, all the slopes that you see are going to be native grasses with native wildflowers, yarrows, all simple, clean stuff. And you know what? It's stuff that's already growing on the hill there. To be able to do this house, they're gonna excavate it, put all the dirt in the flat part, and then bring it back up. So I will be disturbing this area, but mostly behind the 100. And working on the front yard, which is, you know, a simple square box to come on into. Nothing fancy, really.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Thank you for hearing me.
Marty, may I ask a question?
Please.
Where you've indicated these pink regions, what is the material indicated by that?
The pinks.
Yeah, you've got that in the cottage garden, the kitchen
Oh,
garden.
those are gardens.
Just
Plantings.
Could be any plantings.
Plantings, yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Right. So the cottage garden, a blend of historical and, you know, some sort of what I call my top 10 plants that bloom no matter what. And it had an archway at the front door. It was square. The archway's still in discussion on this one, but probably just a simple Nantucket round. And I can come back with any sort of details that you'd like to have, but this is a very, it's going to be a pretty rustic and simple project.
I'm just trying to get my bearings here. This point here, is that this point on the locus?
Let me check. Yes.
That is that.
Let me
Right
come.
here,
Okay,
yeah.
let me come over.
He's saying, I think right there is
No.
right there.
That is that point.
This point.
No, this one.
Oh,
Right?
no.
No.
That's the harbor.
This is this.
Yeah, that's what he's asking, I
Yeah.
think. Yep.
Yeah, that is that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, the Shawcamo Road was right by this bound right here.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy up the hill, as you can see, owns the Shawcamo Road all the way across, right up to this lady's property. So Shakamo Road virtually is closed at the entrance to her driveway. And then it doesn't reopen until, actually it gets down to Rabbit Run, I guess, on the other side.
Show John
Yeah. So this is Al Silva's pond.
Right.
So you come down the hill, you take a right, and then that road's not driven by anymore, because there's been a big tree across it for years. And then that's Rabbit Run Road that comes back around. And so it's about there that they use it again.
Does the pool have a cover or no cover?
Yeah, auto cover. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, everything has auto cover.
All right.
So no fences needed.
What do you,
But, I mean, there's a lot going on here to move along, so I just wanna get my bearings and understand. I mean, so, I wish this was a little bit further out so I could understand where Pecos Road is, but, so Shakamo Road, you're saying this part of Shakamo Road does not get used? Yeah, come on over.
Yeah.
This part of Shakamo Road does not get used?
Right, so the way this works, you see that little inlet right there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right there is virtually the end of Shakamo Road. There's like a pile of dirt over it. And then the trees have fallen across the road through here, and this is all owned by one guy. And so Rabbit Run Road comes around here, and that's where the Giffords have done their new houses. And so this goes back this way.
And then so Pulpus is this way?
Right, that's Al Silva's pond.
Yeah, gotcha, so.
Right, so that's, right, that's Gardner Road, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that goes all the way down to North Road at the harbor.
And these elevations have already been approved because the house has been approved.
Right. And it came with the same plan.
And most of this vegetation has to go due to the manipulation of the grade.
Right, this is actually going downhill. Isn't
Right.
that?
Yeah.
It's got, right, down to 20 to 13 feet.
So this is gonna be.
And it's just the way it is.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it as much as, and she likes it. She likes it like that. She likes the way the land does what it does over there, so.
I mean, is there any way we can keep some of this existing vegetation on the?
There's nothing there. The entire place was mowed as a lawn. The
okay.
entire thing
All right.
was mowed as a lawn. So I'm taking the lawn out of it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, the existing vegetation is on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
okay, anybody else have some comments on
Oh,
this?
based on this right here, this is your existing vegetation.
Right.
And this
That's
is
all
somebody
existing.
else's, right? So it's staying.
Okay.
Yeah, that belongs to Mr. Young across the street.
Eurico.
Yeah, she's got a funny little spot there. She's top of a hill with a great view.
My only comment, this photo should not be anything to do with this application.
Thanks, Mark. Sorry for so many questions.
Very deceiving.
Yeah, where is that? Val, what do you
Anyway,
think?
I have no comments on
I
it.
have no comments.
Okay, Jesse, you okay?
Yep.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Alrighty then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're welcome.
I know I didn't really want to add.
I'll take that too.
Okay, now we're to, there you go, Axmart,
Good evening, everyone.
ground solar array, Maxicom.
Would you take this one? I don't think you ordered one.
Oh, well, I was just on that, so, yeah, all you.
Did I hear, TJ, you're on this one?
I'm on it.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, got it.
Is this the guy that just came in for a new house?
Yes,
But-
it is part of a new.
Yeah.
You want to put it in? I like it.
Oh, it
House
was,
is
he was
great.
from Boston, I think.
It's got
The
a,
architect?
And it was
yeah,
his
it's got a-
family's
it's got a
house,
big-
yeah.
Yeah, it's got like one little, it's really cool, it's like more stuff.
I don't remember that at all.
Maybe you were away.
So it wouldn't have
It's
been
really nice,
like
it's,
super recent.
No, it's pretty recent,
yeah.
last few
Um,
weeks.
Okay, so what have you to say?
So, it's a ground array.
Mhm.
There's absolutely no visibility from Maxey Pond Road. It's, there's really nothing more to say other than that it's a 80 panel, 2-component ground array. No one's gonna be able to see it.
How about from Cliff Road through over, across the pond?
How about from Cliff?
Does the lot slope down?
I believe the
Toward
lot
the
is actually up.
Okay.
It's above Cliff Road.
No, I know that, but so I'm saying if you're driving here and this is up, can you see this?
You're not going to be able to see it because it's going to be, there's going to be screening going around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the high part of this array is 4.5 feet, right?
Right. We call it 5 feet for, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the perspective that we show from these pictures from Maxey Pond is you can actually see there's an incline. So it's sort of like it goes up, and the ray's going to be kind of like, way above your
Behind the
head.
house?
No, I know from Maxey Pond Road. I was just worried about Cliff Road.
Any other comments?
No.
No concerns.
Yes,
John?
one comment. I spent a lot of time up there fishing in the pond.
It's a great pond.
But when you come off the pond, there's a dirt road coming from the water tower to the Nantucket Road. That nice road going in there. Well, I don't know, looking at this piece of property right here that is being marked out. So I was up there with a friend, and we were walking his dog. And him and his wife, I guess, come out and says, you're on private property. I said, I'm on private, it's been open for 80-odd years in my lifetime. I said, we've always come up here. And he says that we don't appreciate people, we own over to there. What are those stones over there? It's a cemetery.
Yeah.
You do?
Well, if I can see the cemetery can see here.
The historic
It's visible.
cemetery? The one up on top of the hill?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, I know that cemetery.
All my relatives,
The,
Mine too.
really? Huh.
300 years ago.
That's right.
But anyway,
It was in the front page
give
that
me a little story
the
on that, though.
land bank
Yeah,
just
that
bought
guy's
that.
name is,
Whole
I
piece.
think it's Joe Hale.
I appreciate they have it
Historic.
in the
The,
document that is all black.
Right over here.
No silver.
I had no idea there was one there.
You okay?
This whole
Okay,
piece.
so sounds like Val's okay, John's okay.
I'm okay.
Good, everybody good.
Motion.
Okay, John has made a motion to approve as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Is that the right walk in the property?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I just crossed out, I just crossed Nancy out. but,
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so Nancy, Walwinet Road.
What's missing here, Joe? I think you're missing something.
Hi.
Hello, dear.
Abby and I went out and viewed this.
You guys are fantastic. Dream team.
And at first we were concerned, but once we got our bearings and saw that it's going right where the parking area is now.
Right.
Any info on this?
Right there, in front of Jesse.
Here,
No, Jesse has.
Sorry.
He's holding.
Fix my shoe.
that mitigated our,
Don't you have one?
I know what we're looking
I've
at.
got an extra one.
I can use one.
The only thing we said was maybe, where did we land, Abby, with the 20 feet across? It's fine back there, right?
Oh,
Well, it was,
Yes,
it's,
this is an updated map that I could not print all up, but it does show exactly where it would go.
this is the wall window.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is, yeah, this is the house.
This is the house that,
She has it.
This
Okay,
is an
yeah,
updated.
but this is the Matt McEachern house where the neighbors
Correct.
were all, you know, the neighbor.
I
right.
heard about the neighbor.
Yes, what
yeah.
about that?
So this is where she
I think
wants.
they're still planning to do it.
The house?
I think so. I think this is just kind of a temporary sitch.
I see.
Really?
Okay.
This is where you can get rid of the children.
That's none of our business, but,
Yeah,
interesting. Okay. So, like, it's just going
This is,
between the road and the house.
so this is.
Yeah.
Let me see the elevations.
this is, they have one of those high septic
Oh,
fields.
wow, that's actually, I
And-
really like the way they did that.
It will go,
And it
this
goes, it
corner.
kinda goes, well, it's kinda, there's a drop, and then the.
Yeah, we went up there yesterday.
There's kind of a drop here.
well, this
This
is,
is a
yes.
low road like this.
Oh, I see,
And then
that's the
here's the driveway.
Yeah, this is from
And right here, there's.
looking
a drop.
toward the
This
street,
is-
not away
this
from
is-
the street.
This is higher.
That's
All of
the
this is
septic
higher.
system.
This is lower, so you don't even see it.
Got it. Okay.
Yes, again, I am digging into the hillside.
You're digging into the backside of the hillside.
Backside of the
You know, the
hillside.
back of the
Yeah.
hill with respect
A
to.
little bit.
Yeah, but it does mitigate the height from, if you
well,
stand there and look across,
it's not
you
a
only
hugely
see
tall
the roof
structure
of the house.
12 by 20.
Okay, comments?
I was okay with it.
Last, yeah, okay.
I think, the only thing I have a question about, Nancy, is it says it's 16 feet. Is it 16 feet from grade?
Yes.
What's 16 feet?
The height.
16 feet high.
Oh,
You know,
oh, oh.
The
actually,
reason for
Val's
that-
point is a good one because the drawing is
Shows-
somewhat unclear because it shows the quarter boards going like right down to the ground, which
Right.
wouldn't be the case. So that's to grade. Okay,
So it's 16 feet from the ground.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
And they're looking to have some storage, because I think you're familiar with the property and it's a small house.
Way too familiar with that property. Everybody else good?
And those doors face the house, so.
The doors
Yeah,
face back.
they
to the
do.
house, yes. John has
good
made a
with it.
motion. John
All
made a
right.
motion to approve.
John's hot
I
tonight.
know.
He's on a
He is
roll.
on fire. Okay, all those in favor of John's motion?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you,
night, night. Okay, TJ, you're at bat. Pleasant.
Oh, this used
So I
to
also
be-
have 33 Long Pond that we took off the consent with conditions. I don't
thanks
care
for-
which one comes
No,
first.
thanks for reminding me about that. Let's cue that up right after this, okay?
They just bought this?
Who?
Your people?
Are we talking about Pleasant?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just.
Because my people used to own it, Majewski.
Oh yeah, they've been
Yeah.
trying to buy it off the Majewskis for years, and they finally did it.
Can't wait to see what we're talking about.
It's actually Kimberly Way, just the way the lots can
Oh, that landlocked thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the owners of 80 Pleasant also own the parcel next door, 78 Pleasant.
Which is the one on the street?
I put a little rendering in there that shows both of them, just to show that they tie in stylistically.
Okay, so this is 78.
78
right here.
on the left.
And then this is your proposed one.
You
right
photo?
Yeah, I did a little bit of Photoshop. You know what I like?
here. Is that your proposed?
Yes, yes it is.
Pretty
And the
cool.
car has to
That's
go in
very nice.
sideways.
Nice design there, TJ. It looks like the other houses around.
Very nice. Comments?
lot.
These are at an angle. Is that why they're drawn like that?
They're at an angle.
Yes, we had to follow the lot line on that, and the garage bay actually follows that lot line. It was a really tight fit. You know, we wanted to save buildability for a future dwelling to the west of this dwelling. Thereby, this would become the future cottage of the 80 Pleasant. So we jammed it all the way to that kind of slanted lot line, and our garage bay actually is not a head-in approach, so we get that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I see what you mean.
So in the future, if we did build another dwelling there, we'd remove the covered porch off the west elevation to create enough space between. But for now, that's not really the plan. These, you know, properties are gonna work in concert with each other, number 78 and 80. And be kind of a, you know, just one unified property.
Very interesting.
Just next to your grandfather's house.
Yeah, yep. The house that looks like a midget now.
Anybody?
Well, I think it's appropriate for that neighborhood.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of garages in the main house like this, so I'm just sort of absorbing it.
It's just, I thought about that too, Abby, but if you look at the site plan, it's such an oblique angle. I don't know that anybody's gonna perceive that from the street.
Val brings up a good point, and it's also, you know, a lot of mature hedging on that lot line and on the Kimberly Way street side lot line.
And that is true.
What are the colors, TJ?
Everything's to match the existing house at 78. It's white trim, natural to weather roof.
There's the house up on the street. This is the
TJ,
guy.
my Nana's house is the little house right there.
At the very end on the right?
No, like on Pleasant Street, 76.
Oh, that's
the little
that
antique
Rice
house.
Maroons now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse?
Yeah, I'm so far no concerns. I'm just looking at one of these elevations to see if it's viewable.
The one with the wind.
Big fat
it's
windows.
not, because there's a big house right here.
Okay, then no concerns.
Okay. John? Still working? And Abby?
Remember to turn off the car when you drive into the garage.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Why do you say that?
Because you're.
In particular?
Because I'm assuming this is a master bedroom.
Yeah.
I'll you know, see if they can get a hybrid or an
It's an
electric
electric
vehicle.
car.
Yeah.
There you go.
They probably just park it when they're not
We'll
here.
put that in our comments.
It's not gonna be easy to get into that
No.
garage bay at all.
I think that's gonna be more bike storage.
So does it open, is it 3-paneled or
Has
does
to.
it?
Yeah, it's an overhead door.
If it was a barn door, you wouldn't be able to open it up and get the car in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a little odd, but. It's the oblique angle of the.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We just made it work best we could on.
We went over there.
I know,
You
but I
did?
didn't know there was a garage.
John, you got anything?
The only thing I'll say is quite a mixture of windows.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of them won't be visible.
Yeah,
That is a
that's what I was gonna
fact.
say. We kept the double hungs and the, you know, standard fare on the.
Covered a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, John's folded up. Good omen.
Motion to approve.
There we go. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the one that TJ wanted to discuss, which was item 3 under consent with conditions. That's 33 Long Pond Drive.
Did you pull the hardscape?
That's not really not me, it's David Trost, and I don't think he's.
Dave's not here.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, can you have a pool there? Because that's ROH.
Well, it's gonna be a hot tub.
Okay.
I don't know why he signed it.
That
up as
was a
pool.
misconception then. Okay.
Oh, so let's hold, should we hold that one then?
Motion to
there's
hold
nobody here to
number
represent it.
20 for representation.
Okay, fine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
What was the motion?
That,
Holding
John,
That's an
there's an
application.
application number 20
Must be right on the edge.
for the same piece of property
goes all
for
the way
hardscape
to
and pool.
Cherry
There's
City.
nobody here to represent it, so we're gonna hold it for
The
representation.
zoning.
It's the same property, isn't it?
It is, but TJ didn't do the landscape, somebody else did, and they're not here. So now what we're gonna do, John, is we're going back to something that was listed under consent with conditions. The condition being dormer on the north elevation, move back 1 foot and run the eave all the way across.
So I understand why that was the condition, but I would just ask that we be able to keep it as designed, originally designed, based on, we designed it that way to make our stair work, that dormer, you know what I mean, and it's not visible. It's also not visible from, Long Pond or anywhere else, that elevation anyway.
Okay, so can you just remind us, it's the which elevation?
The north garage proposed northeast elevation.
Northeast elevation.
I have a question, TJ. Could you just run a faux eave line across there? Leave the dormer the way it is?
That's the right solution.
Okay.
It's just cosmetic, because
Yeah,
like
you don't have to
right
set
now,
them, just-
you know, one could argue that these, you know, the meeting rail crap, I mean, stuff. But so this kind of makes more sense out of it. And, you know, that 1 foot setback thing, I do want to, at some point, when we're doing the guidelines, I want to discuss that.
We only have a lot of stuff
What
to
about it?
finish
Well,
discussing.
The what about it is, if you do the flush dormer, which usually happens when the roof is higher, you get more benefit than if you make your roof lower and have the dormer above, because now you have to push it back. And it's like, so why would you penalize yourself by doing something that's more sensitive?
Oh, I
So-
thought you were talking about this.
TJ
No,
held.
no. It's I won't get into it now, but
His-
TJ,
it was
I
on
honestly
consent with
believe that
conditions, but
Val,
he wanted to
this would be a
discuss it,
better look
so-
just to run that across, because then
Yeah.
it would give the impression.
Right.
You need the space, I get all that, because of this whole, like, when the
Yeah.
stairs here,
It's a head
and
height
you have
issue.
that thing, you bang it, so I totally get that part. But I think that Val is correct that running the eve across, albeit a cosmetic gesture, would be a good one.
Sounds like a good compromise.
Okay.
Okey-dokey.
All right, so, do you want to make that motion, Val, just so you can?
Sure. My
Make it
motion is through staff on the proposed northeast elevation to run the eave line across.
Great. All those in favor of Val's motion?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and we've held item 20 for representation, which now brings us to Lisa's project, so I'm gonna obviously refuse for this one.
No, that's the one we just, close this one up. We just did this. Okay. Oh.
Who's Botticelli?
Hello.
Good. One Low Beach Road. Sconset Advisory, concerned by second floor deck and its visibility. And light sliding porch windows, but only if they match frost and sash TDL's DH sash.
Double.
Double hung.
Double hung.
But it's not in the old historic district, so why would they have to be?
I don't know, this is, Wisconsin Advisory.
Anyway, okay, so.
Well, it says the rest of your windows are Boston sash.
Yeah, but there is SDL.
I love the flower boxes.
Nice touch.
So I brought a rendering of the porch. The porch is really far back on the site. So I just wanted to show that.
That's gonna be nice.
Over the
Oh, this is
backyard.
what did they call it?
I can't remember what it was called. That was moved back. We added the front porch.
Oh, gosh.
This rendering doesn't have the windows in that dining porch. And it is a partially shingled wall with just a little bit of railing at the top. But it, I mean, there's other
Portico?
portico. There are other second floor decks that face Ocean Avenue. So this seems. Or face,
Wasn't this though, when you first came through, proposed and it got taken off?
It got taken off, but I said I would come back for it. Because it was sort of like you weren't, I don't think anybody had a huge consensus about it. I think you were the most uncomfortable with it, and I said, well, can I come back for it later? Once the building is framed. Because at that point, we were going from the box to a building that had a lot more added on to it.
You sure you wanna put all those flower boxes on the road? Who's gonna do all the watering and flowering?
I don't know. I don't know why they're even on the application, frankly. They shouldn't have been bubbled.
Oh, well.
I mean, they're not a, nobody ever shows flower boxes on applications.
No, I know.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, north is
Nice
where.
sliding porch windows, but only if they match Boston's.
So all the other changes were pretty straightforward. I mean, we turned all the doors into more of an old-fashioned door with they're just vertical board doors with sash cut into them, rather than looking more like a panelized door. We want to add windows to the dining porch.
So the north elevation, that is facing towards Underhill Lane?
Yes, that is correct. No, Underhill Lane or towards Maury Lane, sorry. East is the water. So north is sort of going towards Maury Lane. There's a house there at 51 Maury between this building and Maury Lane. There's another structure.
Looks like you're already doing everything else to a brand new house. Adding this like something that would.
Well, the porch was there.
Yeah, the porch was there, but it's,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's like something that would evolve anyway.
Yeah, to add the windows to it.
I think so.
Yeah. Do you know the porch that's on, I think it's on Jeffrey Soros's house on Baxter Road. It's a really pretty porch, and that's where the windows came from, just as a wind block.
Oh, yeah. I'm a sucker for a sun porch with windows on it. I wanna hear what everybody else says. What, anybody?
Love it. I think
Love
I
it.
think all the changes are appropriate, and I love the sun porch additions. And the window boxes.
Even though you didn't have to put those in.
I know, I was like, oh, look at these circles, it just looks like a lot of changes when it's really not that many.
It might be better without them. I think it accentuates the.
Oh, with those things
Oh,
full
look
of flowers, that'll
nice.
look amazing.
Oh, what kind of flowers? Nasturtiums?
And you're gonna get into that
Not to
now?
mention your many families.
Zinnias?
by
Ornamental
those
cabbage.
petunias.
Oh,
There you go.
I like that. Purple and moss green. John, what do you think?
I agree with you.
What did I say?
You said you loved it.
Do I hear a motion? What are we gonna do about the window boxes? I don't want you to have to put them in if.
You want me to just take them off the drawings? Or, I mean, they do want them, but if you
If
rather.
they don't want them, she
No.
can just have it
Yeah.
approved through staff.
All right.
Okay, you
So
guys don't
do I
care
hear a
either way.
motion or what?
Motion to approve as submitted.
We're getting the car down, we're gonna fix some window boxes.
Yeah.
They want window boxes, they're all over the island.
I know,
No, I put
I
in,
shouldn't have put that on there, I'm sorry.
no. Did I hear a motion for that?
I'll make a
Yeah.
motion to approve it as submitted.
All righty then.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, window boxes.
Okay, Matthew.
You got some home. Back down.
I have some at home and they all growing are weeds. Weeds and I can't reach them.
Smoke them. Good rain garden.
I'm slow.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, do you have a picture of the house?
I think we should have photos in the file, but I don't think we have them to the drawing set.
Not appropriate, says Sconset Advisory. Board and batten not appropriate for village scale, too large to be secondary dwelling. Overly fenestrated, further vertical boarding, move demo existing structure, question mark, shed. Let's see. Thank you, John. This is, oh, wow.
Can we view? Because I can't remember what the house looks like.
Sure,
And,
might be helpful.
I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can give you if you don't want to say anything, I can hold comments.
No, go ahead.
So this is, we actually renovated this house a couple of years ago. And they wanted to do a garage with the guest, a space for the guests. And so the idea is that this is a two-car garage, there's a first floor office, and there's a really small guest rooms on the second floor. So, but compositionally, I think it actually all works pretty well together. All the details match the existing house, and there is barn board in that main center section. That's what the clients preferred, and as a secondary outbuilding, we thought it might be appropriate. But I think viewing the property would be helpful. It's set back from the road. It would be visible once you're on stone post, but again, compositionally, I think it actually works pretty well with the existing structure.
It's funny, it's 24.5 feet high, but it has the appearance of being much larger for
Yeah,
some
why is
reason.
that?
It looks barn-like.
And I think the house is not that tall either.
The house is small, right?
No, the house is, the footprint's not huge, but the scale of it is taller than this. We intentionally kept it 24 feet for exactly that reason. But
That basically falls within our guideline for a garage apartment thing. But there's something, maybe it's the
barn board
that's making it feel.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's got battens on it.
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? Is it?
It was a request from the owner, actually, and but I don't, again, when we do the cupola and Bellevue, or whatever you prefer to call it, I think that there are exposed rafter tails on the existing structure on the one-story elements, and so again, we can show you renderings of the two structures together.
Yeah.
But
Actually, that would be super
That would be
helpful.
great.
Yeah.
Super helpful.
Yeah, because
See
right
it
now I'm not in
contextual.
favor of the board and batten, but that's my.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a huge.
I like
work to make or break, but
It's
yeah, there's also
overused.
one of the things we talked about in the office is just the visual component of it, like
But in Wisconsin,
V group.
It's like
another
saying-
option where it's less busy.
For a barn, it's
I
okay.
could see it in the big near
Maybe the
Hamilton
space
Road or Bartlett's or something.
It
but
never
in
used to be
Wisconsin,
approved. It's a more modern thing that's going on.
Barn board barn.
Well, because it's not even the whole building, it's one piece of it.
Yeah.
What do you think, John? Comments?
Yes. I think number one, you ought to stick to one type of siding, not two.
Okay.
Yeah, did have that.
Cupola should disappear. It's
I
not
agree with
typical
that.
for that.
Yeah.
Matthew, you got down fixed casing. Describe that to me.
We could just call it fixed.
Huh?
We could just call it fixed. I think it's an oxymoron.
Okay.
Inoperable.
Inoperable.
Yeah, that's it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. By the way, who's our associate on that?
I am.
John, we're gonna hold for a view.
Do you have anything else you want to say? There's a few things that we discussed about the design. I think Matthew is going to give us some renderings that include the main house. We can view it. Is there anything else you want to say about it at this time?
I don't like
We'll
the
obviously
board
have another
with
crack at it.
I agree with Wisconsin Advisory Board about the being
Siding.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not very.
What else did they say?
Man, did you say there was some on the existing building going back?
No, just exposed rafter tails.
Oh, exposed rafter tails.
Okay.
And you're gonna do a drawing of them side by, or bring in a drawing of the main house?
Yeah, I think we can actually show you an elevation of the two, and then
Yeah,
maybe
that'd be great.
maybe a 3D render, maybe. I don't know.
If we're lucky.
If yeah.
Does somebody want a motion on that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to hold for revisions and that drawing of the two buildings next to one another and a view.
Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up, 79R Orange. Oh, Jesse, you're on this one.
79.
And this is,
Do we have any pictures of the existing?
Has he already got one? You're just passing me up now.
This was a revision to a previous approval. So it's possible that the existing photographs aren't in there, but you can check.
Where's the?
Wow.
existing.
I don't see any.
So I can give you a brief history, Mr. Chair, if that helps.
New York, yes.
So if you look at sheet A 2.1.
Yeah.
If you look at the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the previously approved north elevation. That's the side that's visible. The existing condition valve drawings anyways are 1X, existing north elevation. That's the side that's
over on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
That's the existing condition today.
Okay.
The one on the far right, on that same top right, is what had been previously approved. We've made some interior changes and basically kind of moved the bedroom. And so we basically need those egress windows on the right side as opposed to the left. And so we're essentially flipping those two elements and going from one window to two. From in terms of like visibility, I think that's a predominant visible elevation, the north elevation. The remaining portions, again, subsequent drawings, drawing 2, which has the previously approved next to it, drawing 3. Again, we're going from 3 windows and a French door to just 2 windows. And then the east elevation, we're adding a window. So basically some interior partition or interior edits. Probably the most visible is drawing 1.
And so you're adding the door in the window, or door in place of a window on the west.
Yeah. So essentially, we're flipping the doors in the windows, and then we're adding a window from a single to a double.
I think it is. That's blocked, right?
Yeah, that's an existing condition, Abby, and so it's over the setback, and we don't.
I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
All right. Comments?
I think it looks nice.
Anybody? Jesse, you got any?
No concerns.
Okay.
I'm okay.
John,
Motion?
what do you think?
I'm good.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Motion.
John's made a motion to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, last up for Howard. Okay, here's what 8.7 had to tell us on this. Photos needed. If chimney is existing, it should remain. Other, please provide photos of rotting conditions. Would rather see sister framing in full demo and repair.
Boy, Howard Court is a.
Under siege.
Yeah, so, we can certainly provide photographs. So just to give you a little bit of background, this is a structure you've already approved. One revision to it is we did want to lose the chimney that was previously approved. So other than that, so basically what it is as we started to prep for construction, the contractor, the place just was really rotted. A lot of water infiltration. It's primarily water infiltration. This isn't a historic structure.
It is not?
No, not that I'm aware. I believe it's, I want to say 30s, 20s, maybe not even that.
Yeah, that's just arguably.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if
Actually,
it's,
so they have it down as contributing.
yeah. I mean, the framing is not, doesn't look very old. But anyways, it's in really bad condition. I don't think, I don't know if it's because of the tree cover.
Really bad condition.
Meaning water infiltration. So basically there's portions of the project where the exterior trim, you could actually put your finger through. It's incredibly damp back there, and I think that's because there's so much tree cover. Just the walls, there's tons of water, tons of rot, floor joists, and so I just basically told them to stop before you start pulling anything out, and wanted to come before the board just to get ahead of it and just say that there might be more that we're looking to take out. We can bring photographs if you want. We don't want to do a total demo. Talking to the contractor, the floor joists are in such poor condition. He's like, I don't know how I can use those. Same thing with one of the walls. I'm trying to go on a case-by-case basis and keep as much as we possibly can. We did have an engineer go to the site and do, I think we attached an email from him, which are observations about the conditions of the framing. So I just didn't want to get too far down the road here and then have,
Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to take a view, because I think, 1930s, even if it's falling apart, I'd like to see, how it fits into the whole,
Sure.
neighborhood, and, because it's a charming house, and I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
If you're gonna renovate it, I'd like to make sure it gets back to its original.
And there's no variation in terms of what we planned, what you had approved. It was more just about the condition of the framing being such where the contractor's like, I gotta get rid of a lot of this first floor deck. And I said, just hold on, let me inform the board.
So, a lot of pictures.
Okay.
So this is the end of Howard Court.
Yes.
It's basically Howard Court, the road. Now, granted, there are two Howard Courts, but the one that comes off of Main Street, if you go Main Street straight back, basically dead ends at this house.
I think there's another house beyond it.
Jeff Shehab.
Huh, here, I'm looking at this.
And bring us some pictures, since we
Okay.
can't go in there, prove your case. So if they get rid of this middle section to rebuild it, could they do the chimney again? Or no?
They could, but they just don't, they prefer to not have it.
What are we doing?
And, again,
Yeah, we've been home for.
it's a case-by-case basis, but,
Jesse, anything to add?
Not really, no.
Looks like we're looking for some photos,
yeah.
more information.
Yeah.
More information and
more information on the house.
I would like to take a view.
John, anything to add? He's gonna document the rot and stuff for us.
On the east elevation,
Yeah.
a D window. Is that a fixed window?
It's right here, isn't it?
I believe it is
Oh,
fixed.
yeah, it says awning.
Yeah. What the, I mean, is there, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes these things have to be operable. I think it was approved as an awning. It was. Yeah.
Motion to hold for more information and review.
More
Photographs.
information, you know, photographic documentation.
Documenting the rot and the whatever.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor of Abby's
Yeah, the
motion?
whatever.
A lot of that.
All those in favor of Abby's motion?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Okay, Luke.
Abby, I mean, not Val.
Oh!
Sorry, I didn't borrow you.
Nantucket advisory, no concerns. Let me see, is that, let me make sure that was for the move off.
Oh,
Is this the one?
you and I went out here.
Okay.
It's not specific. Do we have more than one of these? Or just this?
You want the pictures?
More than one.
Because, no, so Luke has two applications. One is for a move-off demo.
Because there's a house there now.
And so what you just handed me is Nantucket advisories, no concerns relate to the move-off. Oh, got it. Okay. Any issues here, folks?
Negative.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Do you have a problem with this getting moved off or demoed?
Okay, let's go for it then, kids.
Motion to approve.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's that, and I'll take a look at the new house.
We thought you were adding to the house. We were like, oh wow, that's gonna look so much better.
Oh. Okay. Wow, this looks like a Linda Williams. Okay, it says nothing appropriate.
Yeah, that's Linda.
Lot line to lot line, too big for lot, all two-story, no additive massing, too big for the lot. Reiterated, 81 feet long, out of context, ridge longer than 50 feet, eave same on both ends, no way to mitigate it, nothing in area that size, fully visible. So that was the glowing report from Nantucket. Oh, wow, it is quite large.
Yeah, it is large.
Large.
What we're doing is, what the owners would like to do is replace, the existing house that we replaced was just 12 feet shorter than this in its length.
But it was
And
front to back, I think, right?
It was front, in
Yeah,
its
it went
longest length, it was.
Back into the property.
Yeah. Anyway, it was, the house that we're moving off, it's an upside down house. The owners are trying to retain that view to the ocean, and so obviously want to have this as an upside down house as well. So what we tried to do is keep the ridge heights down as much as possible. We recognize there's not much one-story massing. We tried to mitigate that by adding porches on the front. But again, the clients look to the existing house as full two-story with no one-story masses. And are hoping that this may be considered favorable. What we tried to do is break it up so as best we can with three gable masses. On the northwest side, and we've used the 24-foot-10 mast to break up the 23-foot-6. So there's no continuous length greater than 50 feet. I'm not sure what that was about.
Well,
It just appears that way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is sort of,
And this itself is.
having that
36.
other roof just encroach ever so slightly, I'm not sure. you know, the intention is kind of the same. It's a run-on roof, run-on ridge.
Well, anyway, that was the basis for our proposal was, yeah, the owner's basically wanted a new house that was effectively upside down, similar in its, you know, it's only a foot higher in its general massing compared to what was there before, but what's there currently is 22'6".
Oh, yeah, I don't mind, the height is great. I think it's
Luke, I appreciate the breaking it up and making it multiple pieces and all that. What I think is tough is maybe the rhythm of this. We've got these small 2-story masses that are broken up with a very symmetrical 1.5 stories in between, and I almost think that the main mass in the middle needs to be bigger for more hierarchy, if that sounds right.
That's a really good way to put it.
And then with the garage wing, if that could even just push back on the site so that it wasn't on the same plane as the front of the house, that could go a long way as well.
What's the height out there again?
25 is the most they can have. So it's not the height, it's just the way it's presenting to the street, I think.
Luke, is there a reason that you didn't go to 25?
What, you mean 24'10"?
Oh, is that the main ridge now?
Yeah, the main one is 24'10",
Oh, I get it.
and then it drops to 23'6". Yeah.
Okay, understood. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that. Oh,
That-
so the ridge of this is stable?
Yeah, that's almost, that's
Oh.
basically
Yeah.
at 25. But Val had a very good point there in terms of the hierarchy, because it has very little of that right now. Is the two, wait a minute, I'm going for anybody else. I should.
Who else is on this? Besides John?
All of us.
Are you on? You're
Yeah.
on it too?
Actually not. Oh, Jesse left.
I think Jesse took over,
No,
or
you-
maybe
you
went to
went
the
to the
bathroom.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so yeah, we're all, TJ got some,
Yeah, I've got a few comments. I agree with the Nantucket Advisory Board about the breadth of the building, the length of it being a little bit excessive. And I would also say that it, although the linking pieces are 1.5 stories, when I look at the 3D view, it has a commanding 2-story presence, where I think like this is the high side of the road. It should be more of a 1.5 story presence to the house. And I also think I can add to the building length question by offering that maybe you could revise the massing by squaring the building up to the road, just for example, squaring the building up to the road and L-ing the massing back to the west. So if you know what I mean? If you had it squared up to the road, then you L'd it back to the west, it might hide some of the massing a little bit better. Alternatively, another approach could be to do a detached garage. Could take away from the, street side presence, and you could site it somewhere else and revise the siting of the rest of the massing. And that's all I have.
thanks. Abby?
My first impression was that it reminds me more of a small hotel, and especially the second floor has a string of sort of dominant features, and it's not I would like to see more additive massing instead of, I think the ridge line is really dominating this, and I think also although I understand why you have the large deck of 36 odd feet, is also giving that hotel effect. I think detaching the garage might be a good idea, but I really liked the way you snuck in that staircase in between the two. I thought that was really clever. I've never seen that done. I think it's really, I would love to climb up those stairs. But, so, like, I don't know exactly how to change it, but do you understand what my thoughts are? It seems very elongated and very similar, and I'd like to break that up somehow.
No hierarchy.
Yeah.
Very little hierarchy.
That's it.
Thanks, Evan. John?
It's under the 50%.
The
What?
decking.
The decking is okay, it's under 50%,
Oh.
30%.
30.
30%, yeah.
Okay. Basically, I share the concerns of what all of the board members have said and Nantucket Advisory in terms of the length. There's a lot of chaotic fenestration, very little hierarchy. The two end pieces are very vertical feeling. So I think if this had more horizontality to it, it would mitigate the fact that it was so long. So those are my comments.
John, what happened to yours?
He measured the decking just to make sure that it was okay with him. So that was his comment.
Should I make a motion for revisions
Yeah,
then?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's my motion.
Okay. There's a motion on the table for some revisions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Your first one was the removal of the old building. Okay, we're down to the last one. 9 Cow Pond Lane.
So go backwards. Okay.
Sparks out. First way. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the football field.
Is there a Whalers game Thursday night? Oh, sorry.
Speaking of football
There was
field,
one
Yeah, I
on
know.
tonight.
I'd like to go to one.
Loud, must have won.
What?
There was one on tonight, the Crow were loud.
Oh,
so
is
it
that
must
why
have-
the lights were on?
Yeah,
I didn't figure that out.
sounds like, what, sounds like they won, the local team.
Can you see it from
Oh,
your house?
so there, I
Yeah.
guess that, so there's nothing Thursday night.
Maybe not. Yeah.
okay. So, kind of getting the context here. What do you guys have to say? Anything that we would like to know?
So it's on the back of the house. I don't wanna
Just to be clear, the back facing.
The back's facing southeast?
Sort of facing towards the football.
No.
No, toward the house that's in back of it.
Which is owned by Pat. So it's the same
Oh,
lot.
I'm
It's
sorry.
got two
I'm sorry.
houses.
Yeah, I got it.
These.
Those are other houses, but so here's our subject house, and this is the road here. And this is all the parking, so yeah, it's on this side. And you own the house right behind it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. See, so here it is, that's this, backside of that, and there's the other house that he owns behind it. Okay, all right.
And notice on the second page of what you have, the panels fit almost perfectly the whole entire roof.
Nice.
There's only a few inches on the perimeter, so it covers everything.
Okay.
And you can't, it's conservation land behind it, so there's no possible way seeing the back of the house.
Except conservation is walkable.
But there's no path in this
No.
one.
Yeah, which conservation, it depends on who owns it, whether it's publicly accessible or not. Okay.
I don't think there's any public way into it. like it's a wetland.
The cemetery's in front of it.
So I don't know this area very well, so I would like to view it, but in theory, it looks like it's a dark asphalt roof, and I like the way it's
actually
covered.
not.
It's brown, but it's dark enough.
It's brown?
It's kind of green, isn't it?
What's that?
It's kind of green,
The roof?
It looks
Yeah.
like driftwood or something.
The roof is gray.
gray.
It's
Gray.
medium gray.
Medium
It's
gray.
not light, it's not black.
See, it's funny because when I looked at this picture, it looks like that really super light gray.
Yeah, it's not. But the panels cover the whole roof. of the
Yeah,
space.
so I would say, and you know me,
I do know you.
it has a lot going for it in our favor that we like. It's the back of the house. It's a perfect,
Rectangle.
right. There's no chaotic panels going on. And while it's not dark, it's not the light gray either. So I think this is an approvable array.
Thanks, Val. How's everybody else on this?
I agree.
I'm gonna go along with the
Oh,
board,
I'm way behind.
because I don't really know where this is, but
I do, and well, just the fact that it's facing your property, and there's, even if you take into account visibility, if there
The
were.
rear of it is visible from a traveled way, but it's not the old HDC. I'll let the board decide. I'll go along with whatever the majority.
Okay.
yeah, but if you do re-shingle your roof, would you do it in asphalt black so it disappears? When you do,
Yeah, it's in very good shape. So,
not now, in the future.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that.
Come back and visit with us.
If it's time for him to replace his shingles, and he has solar panels, we're gonna request him to go to black because of the solar panels.
Say that again, Jesse?
When it's time to replace his shingles.
Oh, yeah.
I guess sometimes you don't have to get approval if you're doing like kind though.
But like kind is the same color.
Right.
Yeah.
So they could come back, they could not have to come back, I guess is.
I think that's a, further down the road sort of discussion. I'm actually comfortable with this just the way it is for all the reasons that Val just gave.
Terrific.
So,
Motion to approve is submitted.
all right. That's the first, by the way. This is the first time that Val Oliver has ever made a motion to
Her other
approve
one
solar
tonight
panels.
was
You can pay me later, Pat.
Ever.
All those in favor of Val's
thank you, Bob.
Unbelievable motion.
unbelievable motion?
Okay.
All right.
Aye.
Bye.
Okay, thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, right.
If I drop dead, they're all gonna be visible.
Hey, you
That's
voted
what
to approve the
what I-
ones on the
Hang
the radio station that you can see from everywhere.
Oh, I can't wait to see those.
Number 6. Motion.
Number 6? Oh,
November 6th.
Yeah.
you mean, the 5th, John?
I got all kinds of
Yeah.
goodies
Yeah.
tonight to share. Nobody.
Okay, everybody, John has made
I
a motion
loved
to
it,
approve
thank
the
you.
minutes of November 5th. All those in favor?
Aye.
And gosh, guys, it's not 9 o'clock, but you wanna hold-
Steve's not here. Steve is like a very important part of these discussions.
I agree.
All right,
So,
there we go.
All right, so then I think we'll just have to all suffer and go home a little bit
I can
early.
suffer that.
Yeah, we can suffer that.
We could have got it
All
done,
right,
but we're gonna wait.
so,
Motion
you
to
say?
adjourn.
there it
Wow.
is.
Woohoo!
There's a motion on the table to adjourn for the evening. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.